Listen, thank you.
Andy got a little banged up yesterday. They still were good. Overshawn, as I mentioned, is back, and he's looking like he's working his way back into good shape. And I think that obviously George Pickens was one of the best things that Jerry maybe has ever done outside of like Herschel Walker trade, maybe Deion Sanders signing. This is
right. So
it's
that all
looking
sounds
that good. Yeah, but it's also they're 5-5-1.
Right.
So it just could be a little too late as far as this season is concerned. They're going to push some teams, no doubt. Pushed your Eagles yesterday. Dak flying into the end zone, Superman style. Everything was on display. But I don't want this to all of a sudden be like, oh, the Cowboys season was lost because they had these inflated expectations around Thanksgiving that they were going to be a playoff team and then potentially fall short of that.
Here we go.
I don't know. I'm curious how the Cowboy fans, do you think the playoffs are on? Because, Pearl, you seem to think like it's
absolutely.
not that big of a deal.
I mean, I'm just saying that they have a path. So the problem is that how desperate the Chiefs are. And you saw it last night. When Mahomes is desperate, he's going to run. So the question is, how can Dallas contain him? If it's a close game, Mahomes' legs are going to be a massive problem. But we saw yesterday the Colts spied him. So I think that this game is going to be close. So the Cowboys are 3.5-point dogs. I think this is an interesting game. It all kind of comes down to this. Then I'm actually not counting them out at Detroit because Detroit looks really vulnerable. That's a surprise. I do think if they get a split, they're in the playoffs. That's how I feel because I think they'll beat Minnesota. The Chargers a little bit challenging than Commanders and Giants. To not make the playoffs, that means they would fall all over themselves. They really should because, come on. I mean, now that you have Pickens and Lamb, assuming CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a complete mental breakdown, that is a ridiculous receiving core. I mean, the Eagles' defensive backs look like little children trying to cover them. So I think, and you have a decent run game, which you did not really have last year with Javonte Williams. You really have no excuse if you can split with these two really good teams, Kansas City and Detroit. It's on Dallas. And I like what you said about I don't want people to look back on this as some kind of disappointment if they don't make it. If they split these two games and lose to Washington in Week 17, you don't think Cowboys fans are going to be irate?
Okay, I just want to, I feel like I'm that person who's bringing facts to this argument, and it's like I'm Debbie Downer here, and I don't mean to be doing it. But again, I'm putting in the simulator. If the Cowboys beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving,
and if they 33 and a third chance of winning.
This is when Maggie does math. Look out. If they beat the Chiefs and then they lose at the Lions, which is totally reasonable. This is the split you're talking about.
Yeah, that's absolutely reasonable.
They have a 12% chance to make the playoffs. What are we doing here? 12%. That's not 50. It's not 48.5. It's not even close. And so, I don't know. It's just they left themselves in a very tough spot because the defense was so bad at the beginning of the season. I don't know. You trade away Micah Parsons. Shocking that defense took a step back, and they've been very injured. And now they're trying to make up for it, Pearl, and it's just not going to be there for Dallas this year if I'm just going by the numbers. Why are you guys such nerds? Yeah, the pure math.
So one thing, you got to remember, Kansas City is an absolutely different team on the road this year. I think everybody's a little overconfident in the Chiefs based on the fact that they're the Chiefs, but they're not good on the road. They lost to your Bills, who aren't playing well.
Yep.
They did not look good in a loss to the Broncos. They lost at Jacksonville. Now, everyone just assumes that desperation will carry them, but even on Sunday, they were messing around a lot.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about, well, first of all, Dallas fans call in 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Are you thinking playoffs now?
Yeah.
Because that was a good one. And it must just feel good to beat the Eagles. And for the Eagles side of things, which we'll get to in just a little bit, it's so funny. The Eagles, to me, it's like, no one in the building can claim they don't read the newspapers or they don't listen to radio in Philadelphia because it's almost like their first half game plans are all a direct rebuke of everything that was like the lead in the newspaper that day. A.J. Brown on that first drive, and basically in the first half, the first quarter, they keep going to A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts running the ball, Pearl, which you've been screaming about. Why doesn't he run the ball? Designed runs. Jalen Hurts calling his own number at the goal line to score a touchdown. It's like the Eagles read their clippings more than anybody, and you see the game plan impact at the very beginning. Meanwhile, things fell apart for them all over the place in the second half.
Yeah,
that's my Eagles spiel.
Well, I don't
reading
think
your own press clippings.
Hurts didn't really run until the fourth quarter consistently enough. When the game got in, Hurts can run a lot more. He ran 7 carries for 33 yards, I think, and 2 of them were tush pushes. So I think Hurts can run a lot more, and I think that's what's going to happen. Obviously, you know how the Eagles operate. They're probably going to fire somebody or move somebody because they've been awful on
about
offense.
time.
It's the third game in a row. Remember, they won 2 of them, but they have not been able to move the ball. Detroit, Green Bay, and now this. So there's major problems on offense, but I don't know if there's a fix. What did we all say coming into this year? Saquon Barkley was great last year, but what happens when a running back runs for 2,000 yards? Math says, you're going into math, that he always falls apart the next year. So when you look at this Eagles team, do you see a Super Bowl team with no Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley might as well be, I don't know, just any average back in the NFL right now. He is not exceptional in any way.
Saquon Barkley.
Listen, it's one thing to run for like 3.2 yards a carry, but it's another when you're fumbling. So that fumble, obviously, they're in field goal range, happens in the fourth quarter. It was the second fumble that happened for the Eagles. Gibson also fumbled on a was it a punt return? Kickoff.
No, that was a punt.
Excuse me. So he fumbled also. That was in the red zone.
Which, come on, dude. Just let it go into the end zone.
Yeah, just dumb stuff. And that's how you lose. And for the Eagles, the big thing about them is that the last 2 weeks, they had given up like a total of 16 points. Well, then 24 unanswered. Not the same from the defense.
Yeah, but Dak always tears them apart. And he was, even when they were down 21-0, Dak was throwing for 100, like so many yards. You knew the offense was a problem. Dak Prescott knows the Vic Fangio defense really well, not just from him coaching, but all his disciples have been coaching Philly. So that was just a matter of time before they let loose. And they only scored 24 points. I am much more worried about the offense. I mean, did that look like a Super Bowl offense to you, Maggie?
No, but you've got the names on the back of the jersey. So if you think the same thing about the Colts, or excuse me, about the Chiefs, like the Chiefs will find a way and the Chiefs will turn it up and turn it on. And we'll talk about that Colts-Chiefs game, overtime win for Kansas City. But if you're going to make that argument for the Chiefs, why wouldn't you make it for the Eagles? That they'll figure it out, they'll find a way, that the talent will rise to the occasion when their backs are against the wall. Isn't it the same thing?
Yeah, I don't know. The Chiefs offense has actually, they haven't scored a ton of points, but at least they've shown the bones of an offense that can fly up and down the field. The Eagles' superpower is not turning the ball over. I mean, Jalen Hurts will not throw an interception. And yesterday, that superpower faded with the fumbles. So, no, I don't see them quite as same. Like, I understand that you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley, but if you really think that's Saquon Barkley and not some facsimile of Saquon Barkley, then you're seeing something that I am not seeing, because he just looks totally ineffective.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Cowboy fans, are you thinking playoffs now? I would just take the good things that you have. Brian Schottenheimer doesn't look like a zero. That's good. Your defense is looking like it's different. How about that? Pickens, amazing. Jerry, just don't ruin it by trying to lock the guy in a closet to do a contract extension or something stupid like that. We will get to CeeDee Lamb, who had a little case of the drops yesterday. He also made one of the most amazing catches that we've seen on the sideline, double covered, even drew the penalty. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But he had some drops that have just been haunting him a bit over this season, and obviously a very memorable playoff loss to Green Bay.
I mentioned this, too. The last time these teams played, remember I talked about, is CeeDee Lamb a big-time player?
Yeah.
Well, now, 12 weeks later, here we are, same conversation?
Well, now he's got Pickens to bail him out.
Well, They laid it out in the broadcast. He has 7 drops, right, against, basically, he only drops the ball against the Eagles.
I don't trust that guy.
No,
and the Packers.
You reminded me a lot of the Packers game. I think you're referencing the playoff loss, where when he loses his confidence, he goes mental on the sideline. And last night, that was mental. That was uncomfortable to watch. I love how the cameras kept finding him freaking out. He blew the game, basically. If they had lost, that would have been 100%. Well, 85% on him, 15% on Kevontae Turpin, who was out of his mind last night.
Yeah, he couldn't hold on to the ball.
That's the one thing. Like, the Cowboys have the talent to make the playoffs. Whether they'll keep it together, players like that who get really emotional, I don't know. But I think they absolutely have a great case. I feel like when you say they have no chance, not no chance, but when you say it feels tough, that means you're not really giving them a chance against KC on Thursday. Because if they beat Kansas City and go to 6-5-1, that playoff train has left the station. Everybody's going to be thinking playoffs. That's a winning record in December after beating Kansas City Chiefs.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Cowboy fans, are you thinking playoffs? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb last night, 11 targets, only 4 catches, 75 yards, but 48 of those yards came on one catch and run. Again, he had this really nice catch on the sideline that the degree of difficulty on that was like 10 out of 10. And then it looked like some of the, easy for us to say from the couch, some of the air quotes easier ones were drops, including one in the end zone.
The one in the end zone was the killer. And he said something like Dak should have thrown it high. I think it was pointing up. He's just uncomfortable. You said this on the call last night. He doesn't like to go over the middle.
Not now.
He likes to be on the edge.
And I get it, but it's also not my job. It seems like
he's the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
I get it, but it seems like he's always bracing himself for impact when the guy's still like 2 to 3 yards away. But again, easy for me to say from.
I think his confidence is shot because he looks on the other side of the field and sees, oh my God, there's a guy who's way better than me on this team right now. And
you think so? You think it's
there's no doubt. Yeah, I think when
internal rivalry with Pickens?
It's not rivalry. You know when you're the best player on a pickup team and you're just like so loose because you know that nobody else can score. You play at your best when you know you're the best. I think he's a little bit, this is me doing some psychology, a little bit mentally insecure about having Pickens just having probably the second best receiver season in the NFL. I think it's messed with his head a little bit.
But
I think his confidence is down.
But he got paid. Like, it's not, if they were both in a contract year, like Pickens is in a contract year, right? He's got all the incentive in the world to have the best year ever and then cash in. Lamb already got the contract.
I don't know, just his body language. He doesn't look like the last few years of CeeDee Lamb to me. Mm-hmm. And obviously Pickens, if they could get rid of CeeDee Lamb tomorrow and give all that money to Pickens, I think they would.
Pickens, 9 receptions on 9 targets, 146 yards and a touchdown. Nuts. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Are the Cowboys a playoff team? We'll get to you in just moments. We will get to that Colts-Chiefs game. Colts had control of the game, kind of, and then all of a sudden, Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, woke up out of a coma and was like, hey, maybe I should blitz Daniel Jones. And you want to know what? Daniel Jones turned back into New York Giants Daniel Jones. He couldn't find the ocean from the beach last night.
That makes me sad.
Listen, he's had a great season, but they brought the blitz yesterday, and all of a sudden Jones was just going backwards, throwing the ball. God knows where they couldn't get the...
me. I don't care that Daniel Jones looked like a fool yesterday. New York Giants Daniel Jones. That's how low the bar has become for my favorite football team, that we think about all the bad times associated with the football team or bad times associated with the Giants.
Listen, sorry.
That's really
your
takeaway from that game was Daniel Jones?
Oh, my gosh.
It wasn't Jonathan Taylor?
Well, they didn't even call his number, basically. Those last 2 drives, they must have thrown the ball. I think they threw the ball 6 times in a row.
I don't know. 3rd and 2, they sure called Jonathan Taylor's number. And that is a different team when they cannot run the football.
That is true. And that's because everything goes on Daniel Jones's right arm, and he could not have a second to breathe. And then the other thing, we'll tell you the dumbest thing from yesterday from that Chiefs-Colts game. This was a 100% coaching error or whatever. You have a million coaches on the sideline. You got strategists. You got the whole thing. And somehow the Colts made the dumbest mistake. Teams have already made this mistake. You need to learn from their mistakes. We'll tell you exactly what we're talking about in just a moment. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Question on the floor for you. Are the Cowboys a playoff team? MVP.
Go Birds!
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. A lot of bad things happened for my Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't just losing the Cowboys. The fact that they could have ended the Cowboys season right there. Didn't do it.
Yeah.
Then at night, there was an even scarier thing that happened. During
Rams.
the Rams-Bucks game.
Yeah.
Mike Tirico mentioned that the Rams fans were watching at the end of the Cowboys-Eagles fans on a screen, and they were getting all excited. Now that I was hoping the Rams didn't realize they were a better team than the Eagles and could whoop them in the playoffs, but it feels like they are now self-aware, Maggie, and the NFC clearly runs through L.A. Eagles probably not going to get home field. It feels bad. I'm not going to lie. It does not feel optimistic in Philadelphia.
Well, you blow a 21-point lead. You shouldn't feel great. The Rams are on another level right now. Now, listen, the Bucks. This team is leaking, man. I mean, Baker Mayfield didn't even play in the second half. He's got the shoulder injury on the non-throwing shoulder. But something like I was telling to Perloff before the show started. I'm like, remember when the Bucks went to Seattle and beat the Seahawks? That feels like another lifetime ago when Baker Mayfield was an MVP candidate. Feels like another
Yeah.
lifetime ago. The offensive line is just getting overwhelmed. Last night against the Rams defense, Devontae Adams was just feasting last night. Easy stuff. And now the Rams are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they've got a chip on their shoulder because that game they lost in Philadelphia, now they've lost twice to Philly in the playoffs last year and then earlier this season on a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. That's got to make their blood boil the next time they see the Eagles. Might be in the NFC Championship.
I mean, the one thing the Eagles are going to say, well, they're super old, and Matthew Stafford's back is magically healed. Is it going to last? Him and Devontae and Puka Nacua, that's, I mean, they were talking about last night a lot on the telecast. Nobody thought Matthew Stafford was going to be rejuvenated like this. He looks younger and more mobile and more spry than ever.
I'm telling you, those epidurals, man.
Yeah.
That is the stuff right there. Let's go to Tyrone. He's in Dallas. We're asking, are the Cowboys a playoff team? Good morning, Tyrone.
Good morning. Good morning. And heck, no, ain't no way the Cowboys are playoffs. No, they're not. Look.
Where do they lose? Tyrone, where do they lose?
They lost with coaching. And this was the point I was going to make. They lost with coaching. I'm telling you. It's time for the Cowboys to look at our coach with a side eye. I don't care if he is Marty's son. They went for it on fourth down. That game could have been over, but they went for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal.
Tyrone, though, that's an epidemic that's happening all over the NFL. I feel like I saw that 14 times yesterday where coaches are allergic to taking the points. And I don't know why. I think it's because it's like forcing the other team, Pearl, to have to drive the length of the field. They
instead
think
of giving it to midfield on the kick. Yeah,
because the new dynamic rules basically it feels like every drive starts around the 35.
There's no mystery. It's exactly why they're doing it.
But this was different, though, because it wasn't midfield with a kick. They were the 2-yard line.
At the 2-yard line.
You would have pinned them back.
I know.
It was crazy.
Why?
The Cowboys aren't good enough for that type of stuff. They're just not. You have to coach and play a perfect game for the Cowboys to be able to do what they do. This is more of an indictment on Philadelphia. I'm sorry, Perloff, but this is more of an indictment on them, how they've been looking here lately.
Tyrone, I mean, you're right. Listen, we said there were issues with the offense. Everyone said issues with the offense, and lo and behold, the Eagles have issues with their offense.
No.
How about Ray, who's in Grand Prairie, Texas, wants to rub it in Perloff's face? That's always welcome around here. What's up, Ray?
I'm sorry, Perloff, man. Y'all crapped the bed last night, man.
Well said.
Y'all gave it up. Hey, man, I don't know. I don't think it's CD Lamb having Pickens there, because the last game they both went off together,
Yeah, that's true.
They both had over 80-something yards with a TD and stuff. It just
but Ray, that's against the Raiders,
why,
man. It's like grading on a curve.
CD craps the bed against the Eagles. I don't know why, but he did it the first game.
Yeah.
He did it this game. And then have the nerve to tell Dak, throw it up, dude. Okay, yeah, the ball hit you right in your stomach. You can't catch that?
I know. One thing you have to admit, Ray, Dak is pretty good against the Eagles. I mean, he's now 10-5 in his career.
Yeah, see, we always split with y'all every year. So I don't see why all these announcers and everyone's like, oh, the Cowboys suck, they're going to lose to the Eagles, this and that. Dude, it's not a surprise. We split with y'all almost every year,
What do you think, Ray? Are the Cowboys a playoff team?
Here we go.
Oh, man, it's hard. We can maybe lose 2 games, maybe. But I really do see us getting to that 7th seed and maybe making some noise. I mean, and it's not the coaching. I mean, dude, if you're a coach and you're on the 2-yard line and you're going for it on 4th, you're going to go for it on 4th and goal. You're going to show your cojones, So that has nothing to do with coaching. That has nothing to do with the Cowboys offense because the Cowboys offense is the number 1 in the league, So that's far in between right there, you
didn't have an issue with it. Yeah, Ray, I think you want to say it. I think Ray wants to say it. Yes, thinks that they are a playoff team. Not put words in his mouth, but I think he wants to say it. I think Cowboy fans want to feel that this morning.
Well, I mean, it's just to get a split. Get a split, then it's totally on. I'm trying to think, if they get 2 losses and they go to 9, 7, and 1, they need total implosions from the Niners, which could happen. They need a total implosion from one of Green Bay or Detroit. That's problematic. Or Chicago beating the Pittsburgh was a bad thing for the Cowboys because Chicago has this ridiculous schedule to end the season. They could fall apart too. They're winning with smoke and mirrors. So it's basically like either they need a miracle with the rest of the NFC or they have to go 5-1. Why is that so? 5-1 is not that gaudy.
Is Jaden Daniels coming back? if he's back for that game at the end of the year, this is on Christmas Day at Washington. I don't know. Is there anything to play for there?
Washington's defense is terrible.
I mean, are you sure they're going to beat the Chargers?
Yes.
Okay.
The Chargers.
Minnesota, I'll
Dallas.
give you. Minnesota, I'll give you. J.J. McCarthy is a mess.
I am sure they're going. Well, listen, it's the Cowboys. You're right. They could lose any game, but they really should be able to handle the Chargers in Dallas.
We will get to the Colts and the Chiefs in just moments. The boneheaded decision. This was not even a play. Just the decision that was made. How are coaches still making these mistakes? We'll get to that in a minute, but Andrew Bogish has the latest headlines. Also, you know the drill about Mondays. We're going to try to cover everything from the weekend, but if we're not talking about your game, give us a call, 888-710-4ISN.
Guys, good morning. Your headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. Download Prize Picks, use code PRIMETIME, and get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Almost everybody loves a 21-point Eagle collapse, but especially those surging Rams.
Stafford pulls down a high snap, back to pass, throws the fade, right side. Adams is open. He's got it. Touchdown Rams. Second of the night for Davante Adams. Another perfectly thrown ball by Matthew Stafford.
That's Ryan Radke on Westwood 1. 3 more touchdown passes from Matthew Stafford, 2 of them to Davante Adams. Rams roll into a 34-7 rout of the Bucs on Sunday Night Football. Sean McVay's club has won 6 straight.
When we get leads like that, you are kind of playing up against the clock, but I thought we had total command and control of the football game in the first half. And then really it was about, there was a couple things that, wanted to be able to have a little bit better momentum offensively, but I got to do a better job for us collectively. But man, it's awesome.
And since
Let's go, y'all.
Philly lost in Dallas, LA sits atop the NFC this morning. As for those Bucs, 3 straight losses, now tied with Carolina atop the NFC South, with those Panthers facing the Niners tonight. And Baker Mayfield hurt his left shoulder somewhere in the first half last night, did not play the second, an MRI today for the full diagnosis. You guys mentioned Jonathan Taylor a few minutes ago. His Offensive Player of the Year candidacy took a hit yesterday in KC. This didn't help either in Nashville.
4-man rush. Darnold has time. Going to let it fly. Got a man, JSN. Makes the catch. Breaks the tackle. He's going to back into the end zone for a touchdown. Seahawks. 63 yards.
Steve Rabel on Seahawks Radio. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 8 more catches, another 167 yards, 2 more TDs in Seattle's 30-24 win over Tennessee. JSN now has 1,313 receiving yards, the new single-season Seahawk record after just 11 games.
I think we all screwed up when the DK Metcalf trade happened to Pittsburgh. I don't think we saw what Seattle must have known that JSN was way better than DK, because DK is not the same. Is that fair to say, or am I out of
he's
school
definitely
here?
better. I mean, there was Manny and me were joking because I regret not taking JSN in my fantasy draft when I wanted
but
to.
yours surely did.
But Manny did.
I sit there and I look at that pick with JSN too. I think everyone out there is like, oh man, I should have taken that guy. And Pickens, by the way, too.
I pretty much feel like JSN was like, oh, you know those passes you threw to Justin Jefferson last year? Yeah, just throw those to me. We'll be just fine.
I don't remember who won the poll last week, but Chip Kelly losing last night, the Raiders firing their offensive coordinator.
That's true.
Right, we said someone's got to go.
Yeah.
And we had all those options. Pete Carroll, Gino, Chip Kelly, the GM, John Spytek.
I think Chip Kelly won that.
I think he did win the poll.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, they were listening.
Hey, congrats to you.
Tom Brady looking at our polls, because of course.
Do our listeners secretly run the Raiders?
Jim Gray and our listeners.
Yeah, broadcaster Jim Gray, we have on good authority, has an outsized amount of influence with the Raiders. And I'm going to tell you what, it ain't working. And Brady and Richard Seymour and everyone else who's involved.
Well, maybe they're just tanking now, and then that's working.
That's a great theory. Shedeur Sanders went in and knocked them around. We'll get to that.
Well, I mean, I would start with Miles Garrett and
the 10 sacks. Come on, Mo.
By the
You're
way,
ruin a good story.
Are you
see
Dove
Dion
Clyde?
there?
Are you an aggregator who's trying to? Shedeur Sanders, yeah, I know he talked like he blew them out, but come on. He threw a screen pass that went 7, whatever. I'm not going to be anti-Shedeur, but Miles Garrett is the MVP of the league. Oh, my God, that guy's crazy.
I mean, stat hunting a little, but
Well,
listen,
that-
the Raiders will oblige.
That's why Chip got fired. He was like, "We were going to do. We have no exotic blocking schemes, just one-on-one against Miles
my
Garrett. Let's see what
Yeah, the
happens."
backup left tackle.
Great idea.
That poor guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles Garrett must have had high school games that were harder than that for him yesterday because that was just insane. Also, though, the backup left tackle for the Raiders' name is Stone Forsythe.
Hell yeah.
Great name.
That's a name.
Yeah.
You ever seen Miles Garrett's biceps? They have biceps. It's incredible.
I can see them
ridiculous.
from right here in New York City right now.
Good Lord, you can see that from the ISS. In the NBA last night, Luka scored 33. LeBron had 17 in the Lakers' 108-106 win in Utah. And Donovan Mitchell scored 37 in the Cavs' 120-105 home win over the Clippers. James Harden only scored 19, missed all 8 threes he took the night after scoring 55 in Charlotte. The Mets are trading outfielder Brandon Nimmo to the Rangers for Gold Glove second baseman Marcus Semien. And the Colorado Avalanche are so good right now, they might have broken their TV voices.
Turnover, Nielsen holds and looks and shoots, saved by Knight. Shot by McCarr, he scores! Cale McCarr! What an incredible shot! Off the post and in! Well, paint my reindeer and call me a goblin.
Paint my reindeer and call me a goblin. If that's a direct reference to something, I got nothing. Is that a
I'm
saying from the
missing
1950s? You guys would know.
No.
Paint my reindeer and call me a goblin?
I don't know. That's
It's got to be something.
Some Christmas reference?
I don't know. Is that a Christmas song from the 1940s? We're not that old. Well, Perloff might be, but we're not. The rest of us aren't that old, man.
Wait, is it just some kind of it's like some Christmas horror theme movie?
I got nothing on this. Absolutely nothing. At least the old school guy in Pittsburgh, Mike Lang, used to have like taglines like that, and they were insane, but also they made a tiny bit of sense. And even like John Sterling's here with the Yankees, like some of them were lame and whatever, but they usually
It was just a play on words,
right.
generally.
But there were some of them had like a factual reference to somebody's like their heritage or whatever. This one I don't get at all.
I was going to say
Giancarlo, non si può stopparlo.
I wasn't going to mention this, but there was a reference. I watched a lot of Cleveland, Vegas, and Ross Tucker, our buddy, was calling the game.
Oh, no.
And there was a guy named Butler who had a play. I don't even remember which team he was on. And the announcer goes, the Butler did it. And Ross goes, what movie is that from? It's from Clue, right?
Or whatever. Like almost every murder. It's like shorthand for every murder mystery.
The Butler did it is not from a movie. Right. It's from, it started way, way back again. Like that's not a line from a movie. Ross is like, what line is that movie from? I'm like, the Butler did it. That's like a thing that people have been saying forever, right?
He also had he combined all great Browns running backs into one. He wanted to say Ernest Biner, and he said Ernest Mack or something. Like he combined people.
By the way,
and Tom McCarthy was being nice to him for a second, and then they joked about it.
Yeah, no, Ross did a great job.
He did.
Always.
Maybe the Butler did it could go back to like Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if it's necessarily a movie reference. It could be a book. It's like just general.
I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Maybe you and Ross should go talk about it. That's my point. Everyone knows that's not a movie
backing
line.
you up. Like, I don't know if it's even a movie necessarily.
I don't need backing up. Everybody knows that except you and Ross Tucker, apparently.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, leave the gun, bring the cannolis. Like, it's not from a...
No, the Butler did it. It's like an old expression from mystery books. But anyway, Ross was also really funny. He was talking about how freaked out he was that a lot of the sons that are playing are sons of teammates that he used to have.
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that. No, he was great. And that was a super fun game out of nowhere. Thank God Shedeur played. Otherwise, there would have been nothing to watch.
I'm done, guys. Back to you.
By the way, he did mention the movie Clue, which is, Manny, you don't know Clue. It's from 1987.
He knows the game, Clue right? is a board game. What the hell are you guys talking about? A movie?
Yeah, that's why I know.
Yeah, it was a movie.
It's super fun, but it's really old. It's like 40 years old.
I'm surprised they haven't redone it. Or maybe they did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a board game now.
Thank you.
I mean, every board game should be a movie, right? Shoots and Ladders, that with starring Glenn Powell.
or Hook and Ladder.
Guess who is Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah. You guys want to go workshop that over there?
Apples to Apples, starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm not bringing up Jumanji again.
There's an Uno reference there. Just like somehow that becomes a murder mystery. It's like someone's murdering someone just to get to the last.
Apparently, there were plans to make a reboot that I guess never came to fruition.
Well, thankfully, we have football to talk about.
How about
888
Uno the movie featuring Chauncey Billups?
Oh, God. Cash Patel makes an appearance. 888-710-4476. Okay, we do have to get to what happened at the end of the Colts-Chiefs game. We will get to that. We also have major questions for you about the Cowboys. Are they a playoff team? Yes, no. Give us a call, MVP.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Friday, I was on a Peloton ride, and 10 minutes after Mucinex, I yelled something. My wife saw me, and I had to have a detachable hose in the shower. And that's from Mucinex. If I have Bush's baked beans on Sunday, DA, I'm missing 3 drives to start the Giants season. Won't be able to adequately do the podcast.
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
It's not Scranton. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Scrotum, Pennsylvania.
No, you're not. Definitely.
Did you know it was a male goose?
What?
That was my goose honk.
Try that again.
Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, this portion of the show is sponsored by Square. More than 4 million neighborhood businesses run on Square. To learn more, go to square.com or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood. Square. Yeah, did I almost sick out because the Eagles lost the game last night? I thought about it. I didn't really want to hear everybody call it and say the Eagles are in trouble, but that's a fact. I think, Maggie, you and I disagree. I think the path to the playoffs is very clear for the Cowboys. Just win one of the next 2 games. 1 of 2 games. One's at home, too. On Thanksgiving, we're all going to be watching. And then go to a struggling Detroit. If you get out of here 1-1, the Cowboys are in the postseason. Deal with it.
Yeah, I think this is dangerous for Cowboy fans to start giving this particular team hope. You know, you look great against the Raiders last week. Now against the Eagles, big-time win, big comeback, no doubt. But I think you've dug yourself in too much of a hole here, still at 5-5-1. Meanwhile, the class of the NFC, clearly the LA Rams, who made easy work of injured Bucs team last night. You had no Baker Mayfield in the second half because of a shoulder injury, the non-throwing shoulder. Now he's going to get an MRI. And I had a thought about the Rams. I want to run by some of our resident Ram fans here. Big Friendly is in Cali. Friendly, you calling in to gloat?
Queen Mag Ramsey, Your Highness, you know I am. And Daddy Cool, I said this a couple weeks ago. The Rams are coming to clip those Eagles.
You did.
Now, now the last 2 years, the Rams have started off injury-ridden, injury-prone.
Yeah.
And everybody said the Rams would be a scary team if they were healthy. This is the team everybody was talking about. They're healthy. They're clicking, and Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford have touched the fountain of youth somewhere because they're enjoying football again, and that's dangerous.
Well, you know, Friendly, I mean, forgive us. We all thought that the Rams had the talent. It's not about that. And Friendly, just thinking back to you doing the Carlton dance in that video is enough to put a smile on our faces. Thank you, sir. And have a great rest of your day. Here's the thing about the Rams. Sean McVay was letting Matthew Stafford go shop himself around the league in the offseason. Right. I think that got people a little bit nervous. Sean McVay gave up on Jared Goff. Now that one maybe comes back to bite him a little bit, but he's already won with Matthew Stafford. We've had robust debates on the show who actually won that trade, the Rams or the Lions. But here's my thing about the Rams last night. I'm not surprised that they're this good. I'm not. Jared Verse is awesome. The defense is so good. The offense has plenty of weapons. This is what I think could happen to the Rams, Pro. You want to stay with me down story time lane?
Yeah, especially if it's negative. I can't tell if you're going negative or positive here.
I'm going positive. And this is what I could see happening to the Rams. So right now they've got 9 wins. They are number 1 top seed in the NFC. And everything is going to go through whose house? Rams' house. Okay? Including your Eagles. Here's what I think could happen. I think the Rams could end up back in the Super Bowl against an AFC opponent that is a year too early. Just like we saw with the Bengals the last time they won the Super Bowl. Young Joe Burrow, right? Out of nowhere, sort of AFC team. Look at what's going on now. You want to talk about the Chiefs and the Ravens and the Bills? Well, I don't know how you could have tons of confidence. These teams do not look good. Chiefs won by the skin of their teeth yesterday, and the defense finally woke up and started blitzing Daniel Jones. The Ravens needed too much effort to beat the Jets yesterday, and obviously my Bills look shaky as all get out. I think that the Rams can end up facing a team in the Super Bowl like the Broncos or like the Colts or like the, Patriots with Drake May. And they're going to end up facing a young quarterback. Daniel Jones not that young, but you know what I'm saying. A younger quarterback, and they're going to take advantage just like they took advantage of Joe Burrow in that Super Bowl. Are you with me?
Totally. Makes perfect sense.
Rip off another Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I think they'd be favored against the Chiefs, too.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, the Chiefs have the boogeyman element to them, right? This is you get Drake May in a Super Bowl. His eyes are going to be as big as saucers. You're going to get Bo Nix in a Super Bowl. The Rams are going to kill him.
Ooh, the Patriots, yes, that one they'd be favored. The Patriots are not that great a team. They're good.
They have 10 wins.
Yeah, but they're just playing basically high Division I schools. They're not playing any pro teams. I think the Broncos defense would be an issue for the Rams. So that game would be at least competitive. But that being said, I don't know that those young teams are going to get out. If you could get Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore into that playoff, I don't think it's a fait accompli that New England, Denver, and those other teams beat them. Because, listen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, all three of them in the playoffs are tough to beat. One, because they use their legs so much, and they're just going to go hog wild. That's a huge challenge. I mean, listen, can the Patriots defense hold up against that? I don't think so. Can the Broncos score enough? Maybe. The Broncos are more dangerous than the Patriots to me.
Really?
And I think
the Broncos don't score till the fourth quarter. They could be down 4 scores by then if they met the Rams in the Super Bowl.
But they arguably have the best defense in the league. So they have one elite thing going.
Well, I think Houston still is the best defense in the league. And I thought that your Eagles had the best defense in the league, but then he got shredded in the second, kind of like midway through the third quarter to the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles secondary, oof.
Not great. George is in L.A., excited about what's going on with the Rams. What's up, George?
Hey, good morning, you guys. Sorry, Perloff, about your Eagles, but, it happens. And I figured, like you were saying last weeks or a few weeks, that Vince, you're going to catch up with them, which it did yesterday. But anyway, about the Rams, Stafford, I don't know. They had an interview with Devontae Adams after the game on Peacock, and he was saying that they play as they practice and that he thinks they're actually going to get better, which is incredible because Stafford's right now he's on a different level. I don't know how to explain it. He just, like you said, he's playing like he's a young guy again. He's excited. He loves football. And this team is, I don't think they've even peaked. And Baker got hurt. Remember at the end of the half when he was running those couple of times? He got slammed pretty good in one of those runs. And unfortunately for him, I hope he's going to be okay because I like him as a feisty guy.
Yeah, George, I think everyone appreciates Baker Mayfield and how he plays. Thank you for the call. Did not play the second half. And, listen, it's the non-throwing shoulder. And that's where Louis in Oklahoma wants to weigh in on Baker Mayfield. Get back to Matthew Stafford in just a moment. But, Louis, what do you got, sir?
Hey, I was calling about his injury.
Yeah.
He had that injury back in Cleveland, and he played like poop after that. I mean, Cleveland had a lot riding on him, and then he had that injury, and they kept him in. I'm wondering if this is the same injury, because I know it's on the same shoulder.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the Browns got him up on out of there. Louis, thank you for the phone call. Deshaun Watson became available, and the Browns saw like the shiny object of a guy with maybe, at the time, felt like a higher ceiling than Baker Mayfield, despite all the off-the-field stuff, and they made that decision. It looks like Baker's going to get the MRI today, Pearl. And the schedule for them, winnable games coming up. Arizona at home, New Orleans at home, Atlanta at home. You got 3 straight home games here. You're going to want Baker Mayfield for those 3.
Yeah, they have the worst schedule. I mean, the easiest schedule in the NFC. So they should make the playoffs, but it's going to be typical Tampa Bay wins the NFC South and goes out in round 1. I mean, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Do you see them on the field? No. Maybe some of them come back once in a while, and I know Irving's close. But this is not about Baker Mayfield's injury. It's about all the injuries.
Yeah, the offensive line got overwhelmed yesterday, but I don't know if Bucky Irving's coming back. There was some weird reporting about him over the weekend that there's some other issues going on and maybe not expect him so quickly, but it was very vague and odd. Here's the thing about the Rams and about Matthew Stafford and playing this well. I've said it before. I think he's the MVP of the league this year. It feels like the only thing that's missing from his resume, Pearl. Matthew Stafford's is a career that keeps getting better with age, and the appreciation of Stafford keeps getting bigger and bigger the longer he plays. So they go at Carolina next week. This is the Rams, then at Arizona. So are either of those games really tricky for a team that's playing this well? Probably not. Detroit, they can handle, I think, at home. Detroit is so inconsistent. And then you're at Seattle. That's probably the only potential L left on the schedule.
Wow, you had him a pretty easy win there against Detroit.
It's home for Detroit. Look, Detroit needed every second last night to beat Manny's Giants, who were leading through most of the game. They let Jameis Winston look like JSN.
I'm so miserable.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Your defense coordinator stinks, though.
Oh.
Or just the defense stinks, but I don't know why Dexter Lawrence is not on the field during the most important time of the game.
Welcome to the 2025 New York Giants football season.
That, surprisingly, was not the stupidest decision that was made yesterday. That came from Shane Steichen, Colts head coach. Tell you what he did and tell you why it mattered. Yesterday, as the Chiefs pull out a win in overtime over Indianapolis. 888-710-4ISN. Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining.
I
Why did you sing the echo? That was a bad choice,
Aaron
too.
Carter or Justin Timberlake. I understand what I am. What I am is a Frito-eating fat slob from Long Island. What I'm not is a pop sensation. So when you want me singing, you're going to get Frito slob from Long Island singing Power. And you like it or you take it. Don't grade me down because, I didn't understand the song. I mean, come on.
They got the power.
I mean, that's not the same song. It's not even close. The only
It is
insult
close.
is you
It is
insulting
close.
Snap.
It is close.
If any of them are still around, they're pissed this morning.
I am not Snap. I have never been talented enough to be in Snap.
Pop, nothing.
I'm Canadian Bacon. I'm the oink guy.
Oh, Pete's the oink guy.
That's
right.
Give me a damn full oink.
How can you defend?
$45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
The Chiefs have never led in this football game. Ariza waits for the go signal. Butker's kick is good, and the Chiefs have not led in this game until now. They get a walk-off field goal in overtime from Harrison Butker. Kansas City 23, the Colts 20.
Chiefs Radio Network, of course. Chiefs escape with a win here. Welcome to the show. Okay, a couple things. Number one, the Colts are really going to regret this. Really going to regret this, Pearl. They had Kansas City on the ropes. They had a chance to maybe end Kansas City's season or at least put them in a real blender.
Yeah.
And they let them up off the mat. And we've all seen scary movies like this. And once you let the villain get away, you may live to regret it. And I don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are, but I know that Indianapolis is going to regret this because if they face Kansas City again in the playoffs, which is totally likely, they're going to rue the day when they allowed Kansas City to get up off the mat. And they absolutely let Kansas City back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I would keep in mind is they'll have to go to Indy. I didn't expect the Colts to control this game like they did in Kansas City. I actually was surprised for most of the game. I'd say the first 45 minutes, I was like, wow, this Colts team is more impressive than I thought. Sauce Gardner is actually making a difference. And then they came back to earth. But I'm not going to kill the Colts for this. This is a desperate, good team they went against. And I don't know how they lost their run game. To me, that came down. Their superpower is Jonathan Taylor. He was an MVP candidate 2 weeks ago. And somehow Kansas City's defense really, really stepped up in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure Kansas City, what I'm saying, Indy gave the game away as much as Kansas City just really earned it because they got tough on defense. Oh, my God.
Okay, you're right. Give Steve Spagnuolo credit because all of a sudden they brought a blitz on Daniel Jones and he was overwhelmed. The line was overwhelmed. It was like a different defense in the fourth quarter. They were not ready for it. Shane Steichen lost this game for them, in my opinion. I'll tell you why, the head coach of the Colts. So you have a 20-9 lead in the fourth quarter. First possession of the fourth quarter, what does Kansas City do? They fumble, but it's deep in their own, deep in Colts territory. So they're really backed up here, and that was going to be difficult. But nonetheless, you get the ball back, okay? Jonathan Taylor up the middle, -2 yards. Oof. That was the last time they ran the ball until overtime. The Colts called 9 straight pass plays. And I'll tell you what happened. They went 3 and out. They went 3 and out. And they went 3 and out in overtime, Pearl. They finally gave the ball back to Taylor with one carry in overtime where they went 3 and out.
And what happened on that carry?
He got stuffed, but
on
still.
3rd and 1.
Pearl, I'm telling you, they lost the plot. And then I'll give you another reason why Shane Steichen lost this game for them.
Mm-hmm.
We've already done this now with the new overtime rules, right? The new overtime rules say that both teams get to possess the ball no matter what.
Right.
So you win the coin toss, and what should you do?
Well, I thought it was that you defer.
You defer.
Right, but then they said on the broadcast that 50% of the coaches are now taking it.
You defer.
But
and the reason why
So
is
why are you smarter than 50% of the coaches? I actually never heard the reason why that the new trend is to take it.
it's there shouldn't be a trend to take it. We already learned this. We should have learned this the San Francisco Chiefs game in the Super Bowl. What happens is you defer because you need to know if you need to punt on 4th down or go for it on 4th down. If you defer, you literally get another down to play with because you understand, do I need to kick a field goal here? Do I need to score a touchdown here? And the Chiefs use that advantage, and the Colts won the toss. Like, I don't know what 50% of coaches, blah, blah, blah.
There's something to do maybe with the new kickoff, but that has changed.
It shouldn't.
I don't know why.
It bit the Colts yesterday.
I noticed yesterday during the Jaguars-Cardinals game, they went into overtime. The Jaguars won the toss, and they received to start overtime.
Yeah, it's
and
a new
I thought
thing.
Josh Tynes-Allen messed that up. But no, they wanted the ball first in overtime.
And they end up winning, but that's because Arizona stinks. But here's
but I'm saying that's the change that I guess
Romo
Perloff is talking
laid it
about.
out, and he never explained why they're doing it now.
I thought he messed up.
It does. I just can't imagine that. Like, we already have the blueprint here that if you're the Colts, like, you have to know what you're working with. Let the Chiefs take the ball first. And I just don't understand it. I guess maybe do you not want to put your defense back out there if they're looking pretty gassed?
That's a good one.
Fine. But you know what? But here's the thing. But guys, think about an actual NFL.
Next topic.
Okay. Think about an actual NFL game. Think about the amount of real time you get from the end of the game to the first play of overtime. I'm not a professional athlete, so far be it for me to say, but you get the coin toss, you get commercial breaks on either side. Like, you do get a moment to gather yourself.
That being said, you're right. The Colts defense must have been gassed because they could not get. I mean, the Kansas City got 97 yards on that final drive.
Well, it was just the time of possession. The Indianapolis offense, again, back to why they blew this game. They couldn't get a first down. So, they had 3 possessions between the between the fourth quarter and overtime. 1 minute, 2 seconds, 1 minute, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 2 seconds. And then overtime had the ball for 2 minutes. Like, they just took no time off the clock. But again, like, saying that the Chiefs had these longer drives, that, yes, they kept the Colts defense out there. But you got to know what you're up against. You have to defer.
One thing about that you said earlier about getting away from the run, the numbers on the run were so awful. 5 of Jonathan Taylor's last runs were for 2 yards or less, including obviously got stuffed in overtime on the key play. He was a disaster yesterday. It wasn't, I'm not saying he, but the entire run offense went away. And I get it. Same thing is happening to the Philadelphia Eagles, Shane Steichen's former team. When you have a superstar running back and you build your mentality all around that guy and he can't get past the line, I don't care if you're the Bill Walsh. It is very hard to adjust on that. And that's I think why the Colts lost. I think the Chiefs defense, Steve Spagnuolo just had their hair on fire in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They were flying around. And you're right. You mentioned the blitz. Poor Daniel Jones. There was a 3rd down play where all he needed was a half a second more, and he just could not get it. He never had enough time to set and throw the ball.
No, he was going backwards, throwing the ball up in the air. I mean, this is why people who don't believe in the Colts, you look at something like this, where obviously the Chiefs score 13 unanswered points to win this game in overtime with a field goal, but it's not like the Chiefs were playing particularly well. Like, on offense, Patrick Mahomes was not on the same page with his receivers until a couple very crucial catches, one from Xavier Worthy, the other from Rashee Rice, that got this thing on that drive to even force overtime. But he couldn't find Kelsey at times. And by the way, I'll say it because it needs to be said.
Go ahead.
Refs did everything they could to help Kansas City in that first half.
Way.
Oh my! In the first half, oh my gosh!
The face mask?
The 2 roughing the passers, The face mask.
Miss
The
Western
face
New
mask.
York,
No,
or
I mean the face mask that went against Kansas City was.
At the end of that, I'm
that
talking
was
about in
the
the
big
first
deal.
half.
That was the first half. Was it? Or is that the second half?
I thought you were talking about the one in the second half. I'm talking about the and it was a disparity that you could just see. It was the Colts got called for, I believe, 11 penalties in this game. 11 penalties for 83 penalty yards, where the Chiefs got called for 7 penalties.
For 57 yards.
Yeah.
But the big one was that Reed did not challenge the face mask call that changed the game early.
People keep complaining about that call, but it was definitely still a holding. The guy's grabbing his neck. I know.
But they could have
the face
reversed
mask was
it.
the wrong. Yeah, I know, and that would have worked. And they can't then call a holding after you call the face mask.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a penalty regardless. That should not have been a touchdown.
I was just.
I don't know. That
everything was a
holding is
flag.
so subjective.
He's grabbing his neck, Pearl.
I mean, it was 4 points right there. I thought that changed the game.
I've seen the holding call for a lot less. That guy he's basically clotheslining him and grabbing his neck while else he's going in.
So the one, I think the roughing the passers were kind of the right call, though.
Oh, come on.
One, the guy, some 300-pound guy, just landed right on him. How could you not call that?
Well, Gene Steratore like, I really feel for the defensive guys here. It was just, that's not the story of the game. The story of the game is the Chiefs' defense in the second half and Patrick Mahomes, finding his receivers when he absolutely needed them. That's the story. But just let it be known. I would just want to be on the record saying I thought that the refs in the first half really did everything they could to try to keep the Chiefs in this game.
She must be a Bills fan.
Well, I'm not even. I just got eyes. 20/20 vision.
Refereeing is just bad overall.
It's terrible. But that's also why Arrowhead, I think, is such an advantage, which the Chiefs may not be enjoying this time around. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. You still think the Chiefs are the most dangerous team in the AFC?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this was brutal. I think the Colts are a good team, but if they could have knocked them out, they could have. But now KC is back. Now I think Dallas is super dangerous this week because it's a short week. How many days around to go on the road in 4 days?
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know what the numbers say. They've been desperate. You mentioned it you said it very well. Mahomes is a little bit off. I don't know what the heck is going on there. We just expect them to hit on every drive, and they're key fourth quarter drives where they're just missing. So I think this Dallas game's a little tricky. Then they get Houston and then Denver at the end of the season. The rest of the games should be easy wins, but they at 6-5 they have very little room for margin for error. They go to 6-6. I'm asking you to get the playoff predictor out. They do lose this game to Dallas, then they're in trouble. So
stand by.
You got a 25% at best at beating me.
But yeah, I mean, they're definitely. If I was going to bet on anyone in the AFC, definitely them. I think the odds are not great. They're probably the favorite, I imagine.
Okay, so
66 and 2/3%. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
I feel a little like bootleg Kornacki when I do this stuff, but 64% chance to make the playoffs right now for the Chiefs. So obviously sitting in a good spot there. If they lose to the Cowboys, it goes down to 47, 48%. But they've got a lot of winnable games here. They get to go play the Titans. They get to play the Raiders.
So they're third in Super Bowl odds behind the Rams and the Eagles. And then the only other AFC team in the top 5 is the Colts are 5th in Super Bowl odds. So I'm not sure who exactly is knocking them off. That's the issue.
I just can't. Yesterday is the reason why there are people who still don't believe that the Colts are a thing.
Oh. Nobody believes the Colts. I mean, nobody has the Colts as a favorite.
No, not about the favorite, but that they're going to get the number 1 seed, that they could be disruptive in the playoffs, that the playoffs may go through Indianapolis, all of that stuff.
I really haven't heard a ton of that. I feel like everyone thinks the number 1 seed is going to be New England.
New England has it right now.
Yeah, and New England doesn't play anybody, so they should be able to hold on to it.
I'll tell you what, if Jamar Chase had been playing yesterday for Cincinnati, Bengals could have won that game. They were like a receiver short. They're in this 1-score game at home against the New England Patriots, and T. Higgins gets hurt and banged up in the game, looked like a terrible concussion or whatever it was. Is bad. He's laying on the ground face down, and they were a dude short.
Joe Flacco also threw one of the worst pick sixes.
Oh, I know.
Which he will do.
Joe Flacco?
Yeah, it's funny. People can call in. I don't think anyone's taking the Patriots that seriously either. Maybe that's a mistake. It's hard to wrap your head around a team like that who was bad last year being that good this year. Even the great Vrabel teams in Tennessee were not really super dangerous for the Super Bowl either. They're built to win regular season games. We'll see. The AFC is very, very tricky. I mean, let's not. I know you count out your Bills this year, but the way the dice falls, it could be anybody's conference. As long as Kansas City is marginalized, any of these teams could win.
And then we got to talk about the Ravens. I understand the pure facts of what have they won 5 in a row at this point, and the Ravens are technically back in this thing, and they're the 4th seed right now. If the playoffs started today, they'd be 6-5, and the Pittsburgh loss yesterday in Chicago flip-flopped them, but in the AFC North. But something clearly is still wrong with Lamar Jackson. He's got to be hurt. Like, this just does not look like how it's supposed to look here for Baltimore, bro. That took way too long for them to put away the Jets.
Tell me the status of Kyle Hamilton from play to play. They have one great defensive player, and he gets injured every single game. Then he comes back, and he's in and out. He injured his ankle on Sunday. All that is true, Maggie, but you have to be honest. Do you think Indianapolis or Denver or New England wants to see Baltimore on their playoff schedule? No way.
888-710-4ISN. We've gone this long and haven't really broken down the Shedeur-Sanders game. So we'll get to that next.
What about Shedeur?
Did Shedeur win the job for the rest of the season after
Don't forget,
the Browns
I had 2 sons, right?
went on the road to beat the hapless Raiders, who then fired offensive coordinator Chip Kelly after the game? We've got all that to sort through. It is the Maggie and Perloff Show. 888-710-4ISN. Poll question out there for you. Are the Cowboys a playoff team? MVP.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Your head, in your head, in your head, your head, your head.
In his head.
3 minutes remaining.
It's in his head.
The #1 sports talk in Tucson, Arizona. Chewing the fat and giving hot takes over hotcakes.
Jacksonville. Was that named after Michael Jackson?
From their first breakfast to their second breakfast. Weekday mornings. Big Baby. And the Landfill.
You're like the fanatic taking a #2 on Mike Schmidt's chest.
4 hours of mega sports poundage.
I just wet my pants.
Guess who's wearing
2
the
minutes,
adult
30
diaper?
seconds remaining.
Guess who should be?
Might laugh too hard up and friction down, and luckily it wasn't, mega poundage.
Have fun with your morning show. Broadcasting live in the metropolis of Tucson, Arizona. Big Baby and the Landfill.
This is my life. This is my sad, sad life.
The #1 sports talk in Tucson.
2 minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie Perloff Show. We get to Shedeur Sanders and his big debut yesterday. Browns go on the road, beat the Raiders. I was trying to think the last time the Browns had that impressive of a road win. Now, the Raiders are a certain type of awful. They fired their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, who was the highest paid offensive coordinator before the season, Pearl, coming off the national championship at Ohio State. But, the Raiders are so bad. I was thinking about this, and we'll get to Shedeur, but I was thinking about this. Has there been a team that has miscalculated their station, their place in the NFL more than the Raiders miscalculated what they thought they were going to be this year? They hire Pete Carroll in his 70s. Mm-hmm. They make Chip Kelly the highest paid offensive coordinator. They take Ashton Genty with a top 10 pick. They thought they were going for it. They're the worst team in the league.
Well, I don't think they thought they were going for it. I think they brought those guys in.
The Raiders.
To instill a winning culture, to be a little better. I mean, their win total was 6.5 coming into the season. If they thought they were a playoff team, that would be way too radical. I just think that for this very reason, they brought in all those young guys to teach them how to win at a higher level, meaning 6 or 7 or 8 wins.
The young guys? Who's the young guys they brought in?
No. I'm saying they brought in Pete Carroll to show all the young guys on the team how to win.
Right.
I don't think they were thinking playoffs. I think they were like, let's get to 6, 7, or 8 wins, and then we'll build, and then boom in the future. I don't think they were thinking, we're going to make some noise in the playoffs. That was not part of the thinking.
Well, doesn't it look like sort of win now moves? I mean, I thought it was going to be, all right, Pete Carroll's going to raise the floor on this team, and Ashton Genty, but it was just so off. Like, to go from that, to think you could be around the playoffs, to be a 2-win team who has now fired the special teams coordinator and fired the offensive coordinator, and probably should fire the defense, fire everybody. I mean, Carroll can't come back now, right? This is so bad. It's beyond bad. The Cleveland Browns just came in and kicked your butt. The Browns, everybody, who don't win on the road when you're changing time zones. And this was the first time in 17 tries that a rookie quarterback for the Browns has won their debut. Like, if you're the Raiders, you just got to pack up the franchise.
They've had 35 quarterbacks.
Yes.
All of them were losers.
It's the Browns. Geno Smith got sacked 10 times yesterday with Myles Garrett making these kind of statements. It is just as embarrassing as all get out. But anyway.
But it's the same Raiders team as last year, basically. They have no talent.
Right, but they made moves this year. You bring in Geno Smith. Like last year, they had Aiden O'Connell and whoever.
Who's their receivers?
Oh, I agree with you, Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying they must have known that they did not have a full roster, but you're saying that they ignored that.
Well, Geno is a win now move. Geno's not a builder move. He's at the end. He's like 35.
Yeah, but I think they wanted to, as you said, raise the basement up, raise the floor a little bit. I think they were hoping, hey, we get 6, 7, 8 wins, and then at least this young players know how to win. And that you're right, it hasn't happened, but they're almost exactly the same team as last year. They were 4-13 last year. They'll be 3-14 this year. Everything you said is right. They're totally a disaster, but I don't know that a lot of people. The problem with coming into the season is you might think they're better, but they have Kansas City, LA Chargers, and Denver Broncos in their division. Nobody thought they were beating those teams. That's the problem.
Well, especially not with Antonio Pierce, but you think with Pete Carroll, you're bringing a gun to a gunfight. You know what I mean? Well,
yeah, no, I'm playing Monday morning quarterback. Like, you probably shouldn't have thought that.
Well, too late now. 888-710-4ISN. And meanwhile, the Shador of it all. So the Cleveland Browns go to 3-8. And listen, Shador was much better than I expected him to be. Now, again, everyone seems like they can get right on the Raiders, but Shador looked the part yesterday. Obviously, it didn't look too big for him. You know, the numbers were there, but, you know, a lot of this was he was 11 for 20 for 209 yards, but a lot of that was a Dylan Sampson. Was it Sampson who had that big run?
Yeah,
the
66
Dylan
yards,
Sampson run, and then obviously the big throw to Isaiah Bond for 52 yards, which was a beautiful throw. I was happy for Shador that he looked like an NFL quarterback. He wasn't going backwards. He was getting his feet set. He was making good decisions outside of a really terrible interception that didn't seem to hurt them too much because the Raiders, I believe, only kicked a field goal off of that interception. So, you know, good stuff. Definitely earned another start, which Kevin Stefanski is not committing to.
Yeah, I mean, he looks much more like an NFL quarterback than Dylan Gabriel.
No doubt.
It's funny, he did a couple times start to go backwards. He's got to kill that habit altogether, especially against better competition. Yeah, he's pretty good. Now, I don't know if we're going to get into this thing. Pretty good, but I'm not sure compete to start next year good. That I'm curious. You know, we have hopefully Kevin Stefanski just puts him in for the rest of the season. He's got a lot of easy defenses he's coming against. He has every opportunity to look good here, but I don't think we're looking at Shador as a starter as early as next year. Like that, I didn't see that yesterday necessarily because it is the Raiders and they jumped out to a 14-0 lead and then just completely put it on silent until the fourth quarter.
Okay, so I'm sticking with my original thought on this because I think it's still correct, which is Shador is auditioning for other teams and is going to be trade bait. And the reason why is purely circumstantial. The Cleveland Browns are going to have 2 first-round picks next year. One of them is going to be high, their own. The Jags pick is not going to be terrible. And I really think that they are not going to keep – I think they're going to be other teams here who are looking at Shador who see that he points himself well, sees that Deion's not a distraction, all the other things you may have had issues with. Is he keeping his head on straight in meetings? Is he making it about himself or about the team? Whatever happened in the pre-draft process, I think he's going to get over it and get through it. But I don't know if there's a spot for him on this Cleveland Browns team if they draft a quarterback very high next year. What are you doing with Shador? He's not a veteran enough to be a mentor, and yet he could also kind of be blocking your next quarterback. Like they put themselves in a weird spot.
He's kind of old, so he could be a mentor in a sense. Let me ask you this: so what team would trade for him and for what role? Like, give me an example, just a hypothetical.
Listen, I'm looking at Daniel Jones, right, who last year came in to compete with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Wasn't he a Pro Bowler? Or I mean, Daniel Jones had a lot of success in the NFL. He got to the playoffs.
He had been cut by his team. Like, it was as low as it can get for Daniel Jones.
There was an actual competition for him last year. The Minnesota wanted him too. But anyway.
I'm just saying there's a place, I think, because I don't know if people love these quarterbacks coming out of college, where you bring Shador Sanders into your organization to really compete for the starting role. I think in Cleveland, if you bring in a quarterback with the 4th overall pick or 3rd overall pick.
Well, they're 6th now.
I think it makes it messier.
I don't really see that scenario playing out where he competes elsewhere because say you're Miami or Arizona, you want a legit starter. You know, you don't want a guy to come in and compete at that level. I wouldn't think.
Well, let's see what happens over the next few games and see if Shador does look like a legit starter.
I mean, if the Browns draft number 6, I don't know what kind of quarterback they're getting out of this draft class. That might not even be a quarterback spot.
They still have Deshaun Watson on the roster. We saw him yesterday with sunglasses on the sideline.
Yeah, they might. That's a very real possibility because ahead of them.
I'm just saying it's too crowded in that quarterback room. Mary Kay Cabot, who's been covering the Browns forever, said it's possible that the Browns take quarterbacks with both of those first-round picks. And she's not just pulling that out of thin air.
So, yeah,
So
good luck.
where's Shador going to be?
Good luck predicting the Browns, by the way. But the Jets and the Saints pick 3 and 4 right now. They're obviously, and the Raiders are 5 and are going to win a tiebreaker. That's got to be 3 quarterback teams, and I don't even know if you have 3 quarterbacks. So they might very well be in trouble unless they want to trade up to 1 with Tennessee. I don't know. You trade up to 1 for Fernando Mendoza. That feels very rich to me. But hey, you know what? You do have Shador, maybe, and there are no veterans. Maybe they run Deshaun and Shador and Dylan Gabriel back next year.
Here is Shador Sanders. I'll hear cut 5, please, Manny, showing just how good he could look with just 1 week of practice.
I think I showed a couple of great pieces. It's some things I wish, I could get back. But, man, a win is crazy. It's amazing, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice. So I'm just truly thankful, that everything happened.
Practice? That's courtesy of CBS. Dude does not lack for confidence, but I think people like this type of confidence, right?
He goes out there. Practice.
Wins hard to come by for Browns quarterbacks, Pearl, and he got one yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also, that was kind of humble and cocky at the same time. I think he was pretty appropriate after the win because he made it about the team. And honestly, he actually played team football in the sense that he didn't really, except for the 1 pick, didn't put the team in any kind of trouble. He was getting rid of the ball. I think the first game he played, 4 for 16, he didn't throw it out of bounds. This week, he was much, much more safe with the ball.
Well, and I think the coaching staff helped him out a little bit because think about the 2 touchdown drives that they had. Who finished off those drives? Judkins and the Wildcat. They didn't even allow Shador. It was direct snap to Judkins. I think maybe, and that's the whole thing about 1 week of practice, right? Maybe they didn't have enough time to be doing all their red zone install. I mean, think of really how deep on the depth chart Shador has been buried up until this point, where even when he was the backup for the last couple of weeks, he was not getting any first team reps. So I thought it was very interesting that they did the direct snap to Judkins on both of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about this being the 1 week Shador had, which I'm like, what has he been doing all season? Like, I know he's been third and fourth string, but technically you're supposed to be practicing. Aren't you supposed to be preparing as if you're supposed to start? I don't know. But there was a lot of conversation yesterday about, this is only 1 week and he's just trying to figure it out. And he's talking a lot about this is all his 1 week. It really illuminates to me just how unprepared he was last week.
Yes.
Which is, maybe it's his fault, maybe it's the Browns' fault, I don't know. But clearly, him going 4 for 16, that was basically him going out there and just winging it, essentially. That's what we saw last week, and it was a lot different this week.
Well, also, they were trailing last week, and they had to throw it. So this week, they were not. So it really played into their hands.
Yeah, that, and also you get thrown in at halftime. Very, very different than having, the game plan from the very, very beginning. But was very interesting. They just sort of took the red zone stuff kind of out of Shador's hands. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Did Shador Sanders earn the starting job the rest of the way? For some reason, Kevin Stefanski was really non-committal about it. We have that audio. Let's hear it. Cut 13, sir.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that, Chris. Obviously, proud of him and proud of this offense, and there are a ton of things to learn from, but I'm just going to, worry about today.
Okay, so I think that's him doing the gamesmanship thing. Stefanski keeps everything close to the vest. He's not going to share, the details, Pearl. They have the San Francisco 49ers next. 49ers play tonight. I just think he doesn't want to tip his hand. That's all. I don't know if it's going to matter, but I'm sure you prepare for Dylan Gabriel differently than Shador.
I would, if he went to Gabriel, oh my God, that would light the internet on fire. I pray for that to happen. Oh, the debates. ESPN will hold an emergency meeting. How do we deal with this and make every single segment of every show about Shador being benched? How could anyone not?
Some people just want to
that?
see the world burn, Pearl. That's you. Let's get to Bogusch, who's got the latest headlines. What's up?
These headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Whoop. The Buccaneers might wake up tomorrow morning out of first place in the NFC South. They and the Panthers are 6-5 right now, with Carolina facing the Niners in Santa Clara tonight. Tampa Bay on a 3-game skid after last night's 34-7 beating from the Rams in L.A. Todd Bowles went full Aaron Boone postgame.
We got everything ahead of us. We're pissed off. We got a bad taste in our mouth the last 2 weeks, and we should be.
We come home with a 3-game homestand. Everything we need to do is right in front of us, but we got a lot of work to do.
It's got to slam the desk.
You know, it works for Boone.
Right in front of us.
He keeps getting contract extensions, so Bowles is smart to take from the Yankee manager.
It's all right in front of us, guys. Can you believe that?
Also right in front of them is an MRI for Baker Mayfield.
Right in front of us.
Who missed the second half last night with a left shoulder injury. The Rams, meanwhile, feeling great. 6 straight wins, 9-2 overall, 3 more touchdown passes from Matthew Stafford.
I'm surrounded by really good players. I've got great receivers, great backs, great tight ends. All of them are catching touchdowns, and we're getting in the end zone. And obviously, I can't do any of that if the guys up front, aren't doing what they're doing, and they're doing a hell of a job too.
At the moment, his team sits atop the NFC. Far from good football are the Giants, who lost for the 5th time this season, despite leading by double digits. Let's call this a tale of two Carls. Big Blue built that lead in Detroit yesterday afternoon with some creativity.
Winston pumps his right leg, takes the snap, play fake. They run an end around for Oshesky, who's going to throw it, but he does throw it down the left sideline for Winston, who makes the catch at the 15. Jameis reaching, fighting it is in for the touchdown. Holy cow! Oshesky with a touchdown pass to, of all people, Jameis Winston.
Oh, my goodness. It ain't been pretty, these gimmick plays, but the execution has been flawless.
So there's Carl Banks and Bob Papa downright giddy after Jameis Winston caught a touchdown pass. But the Lions rallied to force overtime. Then Jahmyr Gibbs scored on a 68-yard run to open OT with Giants D tackle Dexter Lawrence on the sideline.
What is a rotation? Rotation, you got guys not as good as your best guys. I don't rotate. You don't rotate when you need to close the game, Bob. I'm sorry. All the other stuff is noise to me now. The missed tackles, par for the course. The fact that you don't have your best players on the field when you need to close out a game is all that says. It says everything to me.
Damn it.
Yeah, the only problem is Carl's frustration there might have been a little misguided because Dexter Lawrence played nowhere near his usual number of snaps yesterday all game long, so he might not be healthy, so maybe it wasn't a coaching decision to rotate him off the field.
The hell?
To start overtime.
Wait, can I ask a real question, though? Like, why do you want to win?
Who?
The Giants fans.
Because it just would be nice every once in a while.
Because they keep having these double-digit leads and then watching them disappear.
Yeah. And somehow yesterday wasn't like the others, according to my coffee, except it was exactly like the others.
Also, why are you throwing the ball on 4th and goal at the 6? Why not just kick the field goal and go up by 6?
Malik Neighbors had the exact same question, and he had to delete his Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. I think I actually screen grabbed it. Malik Neighbors... Stand by. Sometimes I think they'd be making us lose on purpose because it's no way, bro. You throw the ball instead of running it to make them burn 2 timeouts. Then you don't kick the field goal. 3 question marks. Then they have to go down and score. Football common sense. Am I missing something? And
No, those exclamation points, by the way.
What's that?
There was 3 exclamation points and 4 exclamation points in the second comment.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're looking at the team, wouldn't you rather have the number 2 overall pick than the number 8 overall pick?
Well, but that's what Neighbors is saying. He goes, "Are we trying to lose?"
And can you be
I hope
angry at me
so.
for just trying to get some every once in a while?
No, I think you should be happy. If they talk to EJ. He's been so mad at Jets wins in the past.
Facts. I was getting mad at halftime. I was like, oh man, they're gonna win this game.
The Giants have already been mad at wins.
Yes.
You won that stupid Colts game, and it took you out of
Jaden Daniels.
Right?
Well, I mean, the Giants do have a quarterback, so they don't need to tank. It's the thinking, probably. But still, I mean, you can't be that upset about this.
I thought that was a Cam Ward, no?
Pearl,
I thought it was the Cam Ward, too.
They both guys they could have had if they lost. And there was a DeVito win that messed things up.
That's it.
And then there's a
Thank
Cam
God
Ward.
for Tommy DeVito.
Yes.
Still got a sandwich named after him somewhere.
That's just dandy. Listen, it's just I have some pride. There's not a lot of it left, but the Giants just keep sucking it out.
Right.
And it
Well,
sucks.
here's the thing. Also, it's not like you haven't had shots at top picks before, and the team still stinks. So
Yeah, but I mean, all that's to be said, but you're bringing in a new regime, I hope, next year.
Well,
Maybe
a new
not.
coach at least.
I don't even think the Giants know.
I mean, they're not going to keep the GM, are they?
They said they are. He's in charge of the search. I know there are some people who are saying that that's not guaranteed that he actually will do the search in the offseason, but that would be, then why wasn't he fired now?
Yeah, I could see them doing a staggering firing.
What is that? What is not arguing with you, but that serves no purpose.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. The Giants really don't make great decisions when it comes to front office stuff. Obviously, they should have fired the defensive coordinator. They should have. And now I'm seeing things like, hey, Mike Kafka could actually, this is not a great coaching cycle.
That guy should have been fired 3 weeks ago.
This is not a great coaching cycle, so maybe he really has a shot. And then the other part is all the New York media is basically saying that Bill Belichick, because of Jordan Hudson, is keeping himself from being a true candidate for this job. I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but he's out because of
news.
the
It's wonderful
girlfriend.
news.
Okay.
That's the best news I've heard in about 3 years.
All right.
Mike McCarthy is right there, and he'd be a great hire. Mike McCarthy. I keep trying to tell you guys.
Oh, they'll look at him.
You all thought I was crazy, and lo and behold, leader in the clubhouse right now.
Catch the excitement, the third retread. Manny, I have a poll question just for you. Would you rather keep interim coach Mike Kafka or Penn State interim coach Terry Smith, who is gaining a ton of momentum to be their head coach? Never keep the interim coach. Can we just all agree on that?
Never. It's just funny when Brian Daboll eventually gets that Penn State job and tanks Manny's college team, too.
That's crazy that could happen.
Sorry, dude.
That's possible.
Why did
How do I sign up for that? Protein.
Why do I care so much? Why did I do this to myself?
You didn't even go to Penn State.
I know, man. This was my fat brother's fault.
That's a sad state of affairs with Penn State, by the way, that we're talking about Brian Daboll and Terry Smith. Is this supposed to be one of the premier jobs in college football?
Lane Kiffin's flying across.
No
Lane
flights
Kiffin's
are going
dog
north.
is flying across the country getting wined and dined.
There's no flight logs hitting Happy Valley.
Yeah, it'd be easy, too, to spot that one plane going in and out.
Football sucks. Football is dumb. I hate football. Football hates me.
Terry Smith looks like the nicest guy in all of college football, though. I don't know anything about him, but I would love that hire. Just because I'm not a Penn State fan necessarily. I pretend when they're good.
I thought that was a Philadelphia school, though.
Yeah, I know. But basically, James Franklin was never even coming close to that. You might as well bring in a guy that everyone loves.
The last time I got excited about a coaching hire based purely off vibes, I got burned with Mr. We're in L.A. Deshaun Foster. I was like, wow, Deshaun Foster, he used to coach, he used to play there.
It's us and USC.
He wore a cool dark visor, and then he went up there and said, we're in L.A.
We're in LA.
We all made the same mistake where we thought Rich Bisaccia was going to be the future of coaching. Did anyone... I was like, the team was so fired up for him when he was the interim coach for the Raiders. The Raiders, right? Yeah, I was like, this guy is a monster.
Yeah, and then the Raider players loved Antonio Pierce. Turns out you can't trust the Raider players to pick out their coach.
I mean, if this coaching cycle is that bad, watch out for the interims. Kafka, by the way, looks puzzled in the fourth quarter. You have to give me that.
Kafka, Shane Bowen, the special teams, Jameis Winston, Wan'Dale Robinson, Abdul Carter, all of them look confused in the fourth quarter. It's wonderful. My mental health is just wonderful. Thanks, Giants.
You haven't undressed yet today, by the way. Is that part of this problem? Your jacket's still on, your beanie's on.
It's freezing in here.
But it's not that cold.
But let's be honest. How do I look? I look spectacular.
Okay.
No comment.
Sure you do.
We have a lot to get to, so that's where we're going to leave
It's a shame it's a radio show. Nobody can see it.
Or on YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, Twitch.tv
Go get him, chat.
Infinity Sports Network.
I look good.
Okay.
Nice little colors.
Right. College football happened over the weekend. We will talk about it. Plus, our poll question today, not does Manny look fly? The poll question is, are the Cowboys a playoff team? 888-710-4ISN. Big win. Big come-from-behind win against Perloff's Philadelphia Eagles. Have people in Dallas believing. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Friction down. Luckily, it wasn't, mega poundage.
Have fun with your morning.
Well, the whole damn building shook like a bomb went off. Scared the pigeons so bad they flew clean to God. Infinity died with a splatter so hard it left a stain the janitors refused to guard. And Bilotti That son of a bitch was gone like a shot. Didn't even grab his coat, didn't think a single thought. They checked his desk, checked the stairs, checked behind the copier like he might be hiding there. But Pete skipped town like the feds were closing in. They a master class and kiss my ass, I ain't clocking in. People whispered maybe corporate's cooking up tricks. Hell no, this thing blew up like a firecracker stuffed in a box of dicks. A hellfire splat, one big filthy crash. Infinity hit the pavement like a bag of wet trash. No miracle save, no executive deal, just a cosmic middle finger screaming, this shit is real. Lottie ghosted work like it owed him cash. And Daly's beating Rube so often it's basically slapstick trash. Infinity's dead, the road is clear. Daly owns the courts and Pete ain't fucking here. Rube shows up cocky like today's my day. Pierre warms up like he's headed to ballet. They grunt, they stretch, they talk their talk. Daly steps in and they both wanna walk. Daly fire serves like he's mad at the gods. Rube misses swings like he's swatting at fog. Pierre hits the ball like he's stirring soup. Daly wipes the floor with that sorry truth. He's flat, the end came fast. Infinity flatline like a squirrel that couldn't outrun a car's ass. No rising from the ashes, no saving grace. Just Daly kicking their teeth and all over the place. Here's praying for mercy. Ruby's soul is wrecked. Daly sends them home like cut me a check. I'm Bilotti, a ghost, a legend, a myth. His PTO must be long enough to circle the earth. No shit. Some men chase glory, some chase paychecks. Daly chases Rube's pride and breaks his damn necks. But Lottie chased freedom like a man possessed. Infinity chased a merger that got stalled.
1 minute remaining. Seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Time to go. I have to go to class.
Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
Let's find out who made the grade after this weekend's college football action.
He is totally gonna kill at college.
What, like it's hard?
As of this moment, they're on double secret probation.
Maggie and Perloff hand out their college report card.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
All right, EJ, you give us the person. We'll give you the grade from this week in college football. What do you got?
All right, let's head to Austin, where Arch Manning had a career day, threw 4 touchdowns, 389 passing yards in Texas's blowout win of the Arkansas Razorbacks. What are you giving Arch Manning?
I'm going to give Arch an A-. passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. First time an SEC quarterback did that, I believe, since Dak Prescott. So very gaudy, but it was 24-20 at halftime, and really the Longhorns used 2 key defensive turnovers to turn this into a blowout. I'm seeing now Arch Manning Heisman buzz, Pearl, and should he still come out of the draft? I don't know if you have a thought on that, but I thought Arch was great. He had the numbers there, and it ended up being a blowout. A-.
Well, yeah, I mean, the story of the Longhorns has been all year, how is our offensive line doing? And once they changed around the lineup a lot, and it feels like they have something that can protect him a little bit now. So he was very good. I give him an A because his receiving touchdown was sick. He jumped up. That was great.
Cool. Yeah.
He was great. That whole offense was great. The defense really let down on Saturday, which is funny. This all comes down to this Texas A&M game for Arch. The story of Arch this season will come down to this game. Will it be a disappointment? Will he look bad? I mean, it's not going to be as easy as Arkansas, obviously. But I think that if he wants to go in the draft, I think it's back on. Because whenever he has time, he can obviously make all the throws. Very athletic. He's really good at shedding pass rushers, too.
Let's head to Eugene, where it was an NFL draft showcase game for one. Dante Moore, who threw for 2 touchdowns and 257 yards, and the Ducks win over the USC Trojans. What are you giving QB Dante Moore?
I mean, that was A-. He was great. I'm not getting excited about a win over USC, too. I think that I saw this USC team get their butt kicked, basically, by Illinois. I do not think that was as impressive as a win as some might say coming into that game. He was really good, though. He's kind of righted the ship after a midseason slump. Is that fair to say? He looks like he's back on point. So, and right back at the top of the NFL draft.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's probably not with Fernando Mendoza, but right there. I don't think he's going to unseat Mendoza maybe as the top quarterback now in this draft.
Right. I think you're right.
Definitely. And listen, yes, USC is a very different team on the road, clearly, than they are at home, and that showed in this game. Also, USC just made so many mistakes, and credit to Oregon. They really capitalized. 42-27 was the final score, and they were able to run the ball all over USC. So I thought this was a little more about the ground game, but Dante Moore, my grade A.
Let's stay with this game. Let's go to the other side. How about head coach Lincoln Riley, another ranked loss for the USC Trojans head coach?
I'm going to say C- because your team is so different and your quarterback is so different on the road than he is at home. And you've got NFL talent at wide receiver, Pearl, and you've got NFL talent. You know, the defense is better. It's obviously made leaps and bounds in the last couple years. But Riley, I thought this was a real letdown for him in this game. His team looked unprepared. They look sloppy. And that's got to go back to the head coach. So I'm not giving him a high grade at all. And then to take it out on like a young reporter after the game where he kind of takes aim and says, this is the stupidest question I've ever been asked. Like, dude, you're in your feelings. You're calling the reporter unprofessional. How about you stay professional? To me, it was just a failure all around.
That's a stupid question.
But, okay, forget Saturday, though. Would you say this has been, I'd say it'd been a generally positive year for Lincoln Riley.
He already doubled the win total from last year.
Yeah, because obviously they came in with no expectations this year and at least were competitive. So I'm not going to totally kill him. The truth is, I just don't know about Lincoln Riley in the Big Ten. It just doesn't feel right.
Think about it, right?
Yeah.
He's not mentioned at all for any of these other openings. Like nobody, I know he's in the Big Ten, but like nobody in the SEC is like, you know who's going to right this ship? We got to poach Lincoln Riley. Like no one in Penn State's even looking at Lincoln Riley.
I would think if Texas opened up, Lincoln Riley would be in the conversation for that. Just because he's kind of Mr. Texas.
He ran from the SEC before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wasn't Tom Herman Mr. Texas? I mean, listen, that could go badly.
By the way, Perloff grade on this week?
Oh, yeah, I give him a C. But I think... I think Lincoln Riley in Texas and the Dallas Cowboys have always been sort of flirting with each other. And Sark is almost the same person as Lincoln Riley, these offensive geniuses.
Way more successful.
All right, and finally, let's go to Blacksburg, where the Miami Hurricanes and their playoff hopes hang deeply in the balance. Carson Beck, what grade are you giving the Hurricanes QB this week as they get a win over the Virginia Tech Hokies?
Oh, give me a break. I can't believe you even put this one on there. Virginia Tech is not even really present. They're just waiting for their coach to get there. And Miami looked good. I watched a bunch of that game thinking about you. The uniforms all look kind of weird for some reason. I mean, is it Beck you gave us? Okay, I'll give him a B because who cares? It's not going to move them into the playoff, EJ. Deal with it.
I don't know. I'm going to give Beck an A. 4 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, again, the opponent's not great. You're right. James Franklin can't take over fast enough, but still, I'll give him an A for this. And they were good on third down, so I was impressed by that. Here's the thing about Miami. What is this going to be here with the ACC? And how do they get a team into the college football? How do they get teams into the college football playoff? Obviously, the conference champion will get in. But that's going to be 2 teams playing each other who are outside the top 12, obviously. So then Miami's going to be technically ranked higher than those teams, but is going to miss the playoff most likely.
That is the most
doesn't make any sense.
That is the most likely scenario. The scenario I think Miami fans are looking at, and I think Notre Dame fans are looking at, is what happens if they jump Utah, which should happen after Utah had a scare against Kansas State.
Yeah.
And then especially if Alabama ends up jumping Notre Dame next week, if Miami and Notre Dame are in the same pool, because that's how they do this stupid thing, you got to be in the same pool, not even compared against each other.
Yeah, same tier.
Yes. What happens if those teams get compared to each other, considering Miami beat them in week 1?
Well, listen.
I think I have bad news for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think Notre Dame's getting in over Miami, which is not
ridiculous.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
College football, the chaos is the function, not the bug.
Let's not just give Notre Dame a win. I mean, the Cardinal, Stanford next week's opponent, they're very smart.
Great.
That's true.
They just dropped 70 on Syracuse. What are they going to drop on Stanford?
Yeah, but Syracuse was starting a lacrosse player, a quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. Notre Dame's in. EJ, I'm sorry. It's over.
Oh, my gosh. So much more college football. Plus, yesterday's Cowboys win. What does it mean?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
You know, Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining.
1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Now they're on the ball quickly. 25 seconds in the half. Fake on the inside handoff, throws it to the left post to Pickens. That's a touchdown.
George Pickens touchdown got Dallas on the board. Thank you to the Cowboys Radio Network. And then the Cowboys took it in the second half. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Looked like Philadelphia may cruise to a win. Dallas had other plans. The defense really stiffened in the second half, and something really went wrong with Philadelphia's offense. All of that talk about them being broken was on display. You had some superhero Dak Prescott stuff, and George Pickens may be one of the best trades that Jerry Jones has ever made.
Yeah, the Eagles want to win by not turning the ball over, and it usually works, to be honest. They've won a lot of these close games, and then they had a couple miscues, totally buried them yesterday. Not shocked at all by the Eagles. They were kind of dying to lose a game like this. Maybe, as an Eagles fan, maybe it galvanizes them. Maybe it's something you can coach off of. Meanwhile, Dallas, I got to tell you, I'm not surprised they lost this game, though, because coming in, Dak Prescott is really, really good against the Eagles, and he was really good last night. And he had enough time to throw, and that's going to kill you.
Okay, but you could have thought that the Eagles were going to lose going into this game, but then you go up 21-0.
Then.
You can't be thinking then we're going to lose this game. But then again, Cowboys score right before the half, and maybe things just started to turn there. I also got to disagree with you, and we'll talk about the Cowboys side of this in a moment. It's been an avalanche in Philadelphia for the last 2 weeks about the offense, right? Because they've been really bad. They have not been able to score. Well, it was against Green Bay, then against the Lions.
I disagree with that a little bit. They controlled the game against Green Bay with the offense. They were very, very conservative.
Okay, well, whatever.
They were never in danger in that game.
They won both games, but it was the defense who was really the star, and everyone in Philadelphia is like, what's wrong with the offense? The owner has to meet with A.J. Brown. He's all ticked off talking in front of his locker. Reports coming out that Jalen Hurts is doing different things in the game that he is in practice. All of this stuff, and yet somehow you think now blowing a 21-point lead is going to galvanize the team? How the hell does that work? I thought that winning was like the deodorant, and this was, everything's all good. We can just, because who cares? We just continue to win. But now you feel better after they lose? Kind of feels like you can't have it both ways.
I don't feel better, but I do think, I'm not actually disagreeing with you. Like, it was ugly. Those wins over Green Bay and Detroit were so ugly.
Yeah.
I think they want to demote Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, but they can't do it when they're winning. So this is a wake-up call. Listen, the offense was broken. You have to have somebody else calling the plays. That's sort of the narrative in Philly. So if they'd won this game, then it would have been more Kevin Patullo, more inconsistent offense. And there's two real issues. One, Lane Johnson is hurt, their Hall of Fame right tackle. That is never good. And Saquon Barkley looks like his legs are shot. So I don't really know exactly what a new offensive coordinator or a new play caller can do, but they obviously need a mix-up here. So if they had won this game, which they easily could have won this game, if it wasn't for one fumble, they do win this game, then I think they stick with Kevin Patullo and the offense looks bad the rest of the season. Now, in 2022, they mixed it up and Shane Steichen took over for Nick Sirianni, and it changed the season. They got to the Super Bowl. In 2023, they did the same thing with Sean Desai, fired him, and I think they made Patricia the play caller.
Yep.
Something awful, and that did not work. Now I think they realize, finally they realize, listen, this is not sustainable. We need to make a major change. Sometimes a loss can do that. And statistically, I mean, schedule-wise, they're still making the playoffs. They probably were not going to catch the Rams. So, no, I'm not going to cry in my beer about this one because I honestly think they needed to fix some things. Something needs to change in Philly. And it's not about A.J. Brown and all his whining because he did that last year and they were fine. It's more about how do we get this run game going? We're too predictable right now. Everyone knows exactly what's coming. Yeah. You got the feeling the Cowboys defense knew exactly what the Eagles were doing in the second half.
Yeah, you did. And I guess that's a loss on everybody. The Saquon Barkley fumble when they were in field goal range, and then you had the Tyshawn Gibson fumble in the red zone.
Which did actually kill them because the Cowboys blew that series.
Well, and the Cowboys were going for it on fourth down at the goal line and didn't get it, which kind of cracked the door open for Philadelphia. But ultimately, the Cowboys do prevail. And now from the Cowboys side of things, are people thinking playoffs? Because, 5-5-1 in the NFC. And
playoffs?
So obviously they're going to play on Thanksgiving because that's the Cowboys thing. They're going to play against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are coming off of an overtime win over the Colts where I put it squarely on the Colts. They lost that game. Like they had control of it. They blew the game. Everyone in Indianapolis should be worried because that was a terrible showing by them. Okay? They've lost on the road in Pittsburgh. Now, that one was not as bad. And even though Daniel Jones is throwing interceptions everywhere, yesterday was alarming if you are the Colts. But meanwhile, the Chiefs come in, maybe a little momentum, I guess. And for Dallas, I think there's a lot of people who want to start saying playoffs are a possibility. I wish the Cowboy fan would just see this for what it is, which is you've helped your defense. The Quinnen Williams trade definitely helped. You know, you trade away Michael Parsons. All right, that's over. Quinnen Williams trade definitely helped. Getting Overshawn back definitely helped. George Pickens trade has been a revelation. That should be Jerry's. Like that's the one he should take the most credit for. I don't know if he had anything to do with it. That's the one he should take the most credit for. But I think this is just a building block for next year. I don't think this is a playoff team when we are all said and done.
Yeah, I think there's a great chance because Kansas City has not been good on the road.
That's true.
And yes, if they could get either this game or Detroit's game, I think they win their last four because it's the Vikings, the Chargers, Commanders, and the Giants. The funny thing is I saw a graphic on ESPN, their FPI, Football Power Index. Of those last four, the only one that they gave the Cowboys the underdog status was at the Giants in Week 18.
Hell yeah.
What? Giants are a weird team, man. They yesterday almost beat the Lions in Detroit.
I got to tell you, if
we're outside, but we're inside.
If the Giants play all their starters and go hog wild to try and beat the Cowboys at Week 18, I would be shocked. I mean, you gotta start sitting people, right? Like, I'm not sure exactly who you sit, but I cannot imagine that the Cowboys have a 43% chance of winning that game. So I think you have to adjust your analytics. I'd like to see. There's a website, and I don't have it in front of me that does it based on Vegas odds, and the Cowboys are closer to 40% chance to make the playoffs. They just have to find a way to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, but knowing the Giants as well, they're going to win that Week 18 game and screw themselves out of a draft positioning, and everything will be wonderful.
Well, that's just their MO. But you already have a quarterback, so I think you have a quarterback. You have a quarterback who's not playing right now, so you have a quarterback, but he's hurt.
Right. But I think the key issue here is Dallas is as talented as a playoff team. The question, if the question is about Dallas's talent, I think it's there. Obviously, Pickens and Lamb is now, I'd say, arguably the best receiving core. We know Dak is good. We know that offensive line they've invested a ton in. Now, you laid out the defense. That's a good case for them. The problem is the boneheaded things. Kevontae Turpin was awful, and he's a Pro Bowler yesterday. Every punt was an adventure, which was unusual, and CeeDee Lamb lost his mind. So that's my question. When the pressure is on, will Dallas keep their cool?
You don't have a lot of evidence. I mean, let's be honest. You're right. CeeDee Lamb, is he a big game player? He made one of the most incredible catches we've seen yesterday. Double coverage on the sideline. Somehow he comes up with the ball, yet he had drops all over the place. George Pickens has become a much more reliable receiver than CeeDee Lamb. And we've never really seen George Pickens in like a really big game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh didn't throw him the ball, and now you see what happens when you actually target him. He's
the Russell
awesome.
Wilson experience.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, how fun. Well, there was a Russ sighting yesterday. We'll get to that in just a moment. Along the way, yesterday, as the Cowboys are coming back on the Eagles, Eagles had a 21-point lead. Cowboys score 20. What was the final score of this game?
24-21.
24 straight. Okay. So, Dak Prescott, in this game, Pearl, becomes now the Cowboys' all-time leading passer. And listen, it's like the era that we're in partially.
Sure.
And also, Dak's now been around for a decade.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's been a nice, knock on wood. It's a nice long career for him, even though he's had a couple injuries that have ended his seasons. Do you consider Dak Prescott a top 3 quarterback, though, for the Cowboys all time? Because you're going to put him now in with the likes of Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman.
Come on, Daddy.
And is he better than Romo?
So it's Romo versus Dak for the 3 spot. Is there anyone else? Craig Morton or somebody? Or,
What a day.
I think he's past Romo because Romo's career was cut short by the back injury. I think he's already past Romo, so I think he's number 3.
Facts.
I just think that it's Staubach and it's Troy Aikman, and then kind of a cliff.
Well, yeah,
I think for Cowboy fans, obviously because neither of those guys, Romo or Dak, have won. But not just that, like. Also, you can point to Dak has one really good playoff game, the one that ended Tom Brady's career against Tampa Bay. That was an excellent game, but you have some big, huge playoff, failures. Same with Romo.
Yeah, that's the problem. The guy you're putting him against has even more epic playoff failures. So, yeah, I think you got to give it to Dak right now. Maybe I'm doing recency bias, but that's a good poll. Who's had a better career?
Dak or Romo?
Yeah, and then your other competition is Don Meredith and Danny White.
Danny White was
punter. Yeah, punter / quarterback. I love that guy. And Craig Morton. But I think Romo and Dak have had very good careers. I think Dak, he's only at 33, right? He's got probably 5 more years.
Oh, well, Jerry will keep paying him till the end of time. We already know that.
But I still think he's got 5 more years to be an elite quarterback. And I do think he's elite. Maybe as a Matthew Stafford situation where he gets even better and better in his 30s. We did see him run a little bit last night. And the fact that he flipped into the end zone, I thought that was...
Superman in the end zone.
Yeah, I thought that was the end of Dak Prescott. But, yeah, I think he's going to have a good 30s. He does everything you want out of a quarterback in his 30s. He can see the field really well. He's got a great arm. I don't know why he wouldn't have 5 more years.
Tom Brady
I pulled a hamstring on a treadmill 2 years ago. And I haven't gotten back on one since.
That's a Cowboys legend right there.
Tom Brady called it a John Elway moment. You hear that?
Oh, wow.
Brady was all over the road yesterday. He's all over the map. He was saying wrong names. I mean, listen, as someone who talks into a microphone, we say wrong names all the time. I get that, but, he talks once a week. We talk every day.
Right, but that's more reason for him potentially to get some stuff wrong. He's only talking once a week.
Well, he has fewer chances. That's what I'm saying. We talk for 4 hours every single day. Every time we turn on these mics, there's a chance something goes wrong.
Listen, it's just Shedeur Sanders. 1 week of practice.
You can put up that poll question: Dak Prescott versus Tony Romo, who had the better Cowboy career?
Romo only really had 7 full seasons, and he was the leading passer in franchise history before. He felt like a non-complete product as a pro. I think, just like Dak, we were waiting for Romo to win in the playoffs. It felt like a disappointment. He was a very good quarterback, and he was undrafted, so that was a great story. But it felt like Romo should have done more. And I immediately think of the different playoff games, the Jessica Simpson thing, the fumbled, he wasn't starting the botched snap on the kick. He wasn't even the starting quarterback. Yeah, it's a lot of sort of disappointments. By the way, could we just talk for 1 second about Romo as a broadcaster yesterday? He was calling stuff right, though. I hate to say it, Romo was back to Romo Damas a little bit. He got a bunch of play calls right, and I think it's because he watches Kansas City pretty much every week.
Oh, because they do so many Chiefs games.
Yeah,
That's why. Not because he's been grinding film in his off time.
No, I felt like he understood the game flow very, very well yesterday. For what it's worth, I know that his voice kind of now drives people crazy a little bit, but he was on one last night, and Nance actually tries it too. He's pretty good. They know Kansas City like the back of their hand. They know every play that Kansas City has, they've watched 100 times now.
You said Tony Romo, the broadcaster?
Yeah, what did he do that game?
To learn more, visit realizethedream.org.
What a day. Martin Luther King Jr. deserves to have a day named after him.
Yeah, the broadcasting like that, what
a day.
the art of it, if you will, the craft.
Sure.
The thing that Romo and Brady both do, which they need to get right moving forward. And Romo's now been doing it for too long. He shouldn't. This is not an excuse. There's no excuse. They trail off. You can't trail off. This is, Martin Luther King.
What a day. Martin Luther King Jr.
And this is the part we make fun of, but they do this a lot, Pearl, and Brady does it also, and they're not emphatic. Troy Aikman, listen to him. He doesn't trail off. Moose Johnston doesn't trail off. These guys who are actual really good broadcasters who've been doing this a long time, Chris Collinsworth, they don't trail off. They make the emphatic statement, and they don't get lost in trying to be right, or I don't know. Also,
Here's a guy.
The Romo Jim Nance relationship and that's never gotten better to me. It's still very awkward. They're like attempts to be funny and jovial, and it's always just feels very weird.
Yeah, but I feel like you're judging broadcasting on way too much a professional basis. Who's probably the most successful football?
John Madden.
Well, I know after Madden retired, who was the highest paid?
Oh, Gruden, but
Gruden, yeah. People love the lunacy. They love weirdness. They love peculiarity. They don't want the guy listen, Collinsworth's very good, and he's so good that he gets away with it, but they don't want straight. They want, kind of chaos and fun. And Romo's all over the place, I'll give you that. But even I kind of enjoy it. I kind of want to see what happens next. Because it's straightforward, good broadcast. It's football. Everybody knows. We watch this game so closely. I think a lot of character can help.
Flip right double, X jet, 36 counter naked waggle at 7, X quarter on 1. Ready, break.
Brady's way too straightforward. Brady's way too trying to be an analyst guy. Like, he's got to loosen up, I think. I don't know if he's capable of it. I kind of doubt it.
Did they ever ask him about cloning his dog?
Oh, they're never going to bring that up on the air.
Why
Too
not?
weird.
They don't have enough time in between downs.
Yeah, Fox doesn't want anything to do.
You cloned your dog. What the hell's that about? Are the Cowboys a playoff team is a Twitter question we have up for you. 69% of the audience, pardon me, saying no, they are not. Nice. Yeah, I know. You guys like that. No. So thankfully, most of the audience is with me on this one, which is let's not get over our skis here, everyone. Okay? Nice come from behind win. Great come from behind win against Philadelphia, no doubt, does not mean that all of a sudden the Cowboys are this dangerous team. They're better. They're definitely better than they were at the beginning of the year, where the defense was atrocious. Atrocious. Yesterday, the defense came up with some really timely turnovers, and obviously the Quinnen Williams trade has helped stabilize things against the run. But this is not a playoff team to me. They dug themselves in too deep of a hole.
Yeah, I mean, they did stuff Saquon Barkley last night. Jalen Hurts had more time to throw. Like, he didn't even know what to do. He had so much time to throw. The Kevin Patullo, the Eagles coordinator, didn't understand whether the Cowboys were coming after Hurts or dropping back in coverage. He was totally outmanned by Matt Eberflus, which is kind of crazy because Eberflus has been off-criticized. But they had no idea, are the Cowboys at a run look or a pass look, and they looked confused the entire second half. I know it's not something you want to hear, but this loss might be good for the Eagles because they need a new play caller. They absolutely the
so
Eagles'
go back to
offensive
Sirianni?
That's the thing. Sirianni's not good either.
Yeah.
Do it.
Who's the third man up?
I don't know. Let me pull up the coaching staff. I mean, they need Shane Steichen back. Can you get him back?
I don't think so.
A little busy. Although he blew the game, I thought, yesterday for the Colts. 888-710-4ISN.
Yeah, there's some Colts fans I think want to give him right back.
Seriously, 888-710-4476. We'll talk about what happened at the end of the Colts-Chiefs because all of a sudden the Colts just completely lost their way.
Saquon Barkley yesterday was looking like Giants Peyton Hillis. That dude looked awful.
Oh, is that a Giants fan speaking?
Giants Peyton Hillis is crazy.
Whatever, man.
That's how he was running
Jameer
around.
Gibbs is still running all over.
We're not talking about the Giants or the Detroit Lions. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys and the future performance put up by Saquon Barkley in a big game.
By the way, why do the Eagles,
You're a little too happy about
why
that.
do the Eagles have no other like season play calls on their? I'm looking at their coaching staff. I don't know who any of these guys are. None of these guys, I think, have had any other play calling that I see.
Oh, you know what the Eagles could do? They could bring back Chip Kelly. That's a great idea.
Oh, he's available. Chip Kelly got fired yesterday. Now you're using your noodle, Manny.
I got one. Parks Frazier.
Excuse me?
They have a guy named Parks Frazier, and I think he called plays in Indy. I got to double check that.
His first name is Parks?
Wow.
Yeah.
We're really.
No, he's a name. People. This is
He's a name.
that is in fact a name.
Yeah.
Like,
Birth
he's-
certificate, there's a name.
He gets looks at bigger jobs a lot. So he's
But
from.
no one's ever heard of
He don't even got a bio on his website. He's trying to click his name, and it's not giving me anything. They just have his name there.
No, guys, he's a commodity.
And you know
just
what?
ask Perloff's text.
I'm not asking. Come on, I'm just saying, like, he could call plays, and listen, any play caller is dangerous to get a head coaching job.
Chances are the Eagles will still end up in the NFC Championship game.
Of course.
This guy, by the
because
way, he looks a little bit like Jack Fritz.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, Jack.
Afternoon show producer.
He would be trying to call plays for the Eagles while also doing his job.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Cowboy fans, let's go. Is this a playoff team? Are you starting to believe? Also, Shedeur Sanders taking the field yesterday, winning in his first rookie start. I was going to say debut, but that happened last week and it went badly. Yesterday went much better. We'll break it all down for you next, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, every week we do stock up, stock down in sports world. Busy sports weekend. Maggie, why don't you get us started?
Okay, stock up. It's obvious, but gotta say it. Shedeur Sanders couldn't have been worse last week. He gets thrown into the fire at halftime against the Ravens. It looked terrible, like he had never met any of these offensive teammates before. Turns out, kind of true. Gets a whole week of practice, whole week with the first teams. Yes, they're going up against the terrible Raiders, but these are the terrible Browns. So the fact that Shedeur looked more than competent running this offense, I think he deserves to get another start, and his stock is definitely on the rise.
Yeah, absolutely. Much better than I think most people expected. You know, this could be Monday morning quarterback. I didn't think he was that bad in that first game. At least he looked like an NFL quarterback, where Dylan Gabriel does not really look like an NFL quarterback. All right, can I do one just to impress Manny?
Sure.
How about a soccer player? Have you ever heard of Messi?
I have, yes. Argentinian, I believe.
Yes. Apparently, okay, he scored this weekend to lead Inter Miami to a win, and they're headed to the Eastern Conference Final. He broke the all-time MLS record for goal contributions, and Miami still has 2 games to play. That guy is so good. I didn't even know he played regularly enough. He's breaking records in the MLS.
Well, I mean, when it's playoff season, you got to put out your best stars, and that's exactly what Inter Miami is doing. They pulled off a victory the other day, and now they face New York City Football Club for the Eastern Conference title.
So Messi's still good? He's still amazing?
Well, if you put him out in Europe, he probably won't be able to produce at this level, but if you put him in the United States, oh my God, he looks like Barcelona Messi.
He looks like Bill Murray blocking the shot in the movie Rushmore. It's crazy. I was reading the headlines about his numbers. Like, he's dominating more than any of the other stars who've ever come over. Is that fair to say?
I mean, Zlatan had a hell of a run in the MLS, but it's Lionel Messi, for God's sakes.
So I figured that stock is already pretty high, but I'm going to go up. It's even higher now because Perloff's on board. Let's watch Inter Miami the rest of the year.
Yeah, this is when it hasn't happened until Perloff's seen it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wins the title, is that going to be a thing?
MLS will definitely make it a thing. No doubt.
There you go.
Stock up Messi.
Never heard that before.
Yeah, like
you ever
that
heard
guy.
of Lionel Messi?
That guy needs more praise.
Yeah.
All right, when stock goes up, it's got to go down. I think this stock was already down. It's just going down more, and that's got to be J.J. McCarthy. Pearl, I know that the Green Bay defense is really good, but this was just awful. I mean, 12 for 19 for 87 yards passing and 2 picks. Just brutal. Like, if you can't, your ground game's not going to have a prayer if they're not going to respect the passing game. And even with a talent like Justin Jefferson, who still got 4 receptions, 48 yards on 6 targets, like, it's just not okay. And for a team that was a playoff team a year ago, and now this is going to be a gigantic step back when you don't even have like massive injuries you can point to. It's just the fact that the quarterback is not ready. Well, the quarterback himself was injured, but like
Jefferson might have been banged up a lot.
He's just not ready.
Yeah.
He's just not ready, and it cost them an entire season.
I don't think he's ever going to be ready. I'm not sure that he's got it.
That's
I
9.
totally agree.
What?
How dare? That's 9. His alter ego.
And that's the other part why his stock goes down. You can't, first of all, giving yourself a nickname outside of Kobe Bryant calling himself the Black Mamba, it's a big no-no. And it's like there's no awareness. Like it's a lack of self-awareness to be playing the way you're playing, but also feel like you can, tout your alter ego. 9 was a 0 yesterday, and he's been a 0.
12 completions yesterday?
Yeah.
That's divisible by 9, so it works out.
There you go. That's my stock down, JJ McCarthy.
Okay, I already went obvious with my stock up. I'm going to do my stock down for the Las Vegas Raiders because not only is obviously this year a disaster, I don't see a way out next year. They need a new quarterback. They need some receivers. They need an offensive line. How do you get all that in one offseason? They fired Chip Kelly. That's not enough. I feel like they are going to have a complete and total rebuild year next year. And another rebuild year. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I have no idea.
What if they get a quarterback? What if they get an awesome quarterback somehow?
Who's he throwing to? I mean, Trey Tucker was a bit hot gold. Look at here's their receiving corps. Here are their starting receivers. Trey Tucker, Tyler Lockett, and Jack Beck, with Dante Thornton Jr. being the fourth guy. Here's their starting offensive line. DJ Glaze, Jordan Meredith, Will Putnam, Dylan Parham, and Stone Forsythe, who you talked about earlier in the show, got abused by Myles Garrett. They have one player on offense, Brock Bowers. You can't throw to him every time. I just don't see a way, even with a great quarterback. That was a problem with Geno. There's no talent around Geno right now. And Brock Bowers got hurt. It is a very, very bad situation for a very long time.
I got another stock down for you, and that's going to be Shane Steichen and the Colts. Yesterday could have buried the Chiefs. They had a big lead. And then all of a sudden just went completely sideways. Shane Steichen, Daniel Jones together is not a combination that I believe in when the heat gets really turned up, which is what happened in the fourth quarter when Steve Spagnuolo started sending a blitz and Daniel Jones was lost, completely lost. I mean, throwing the ball up in the air could have been so much worse. And Colts lose in overtime, Pearl. They've cracked the door open for the Chiefs. And if they see the Chiefs again in the postseason and lose to them, they should remember that day. And why coaches are winning the coin toss in overtime, in a new overtime where both teams possess the ball and you're taking the ball first doesn't make any sense unless your defense is all in the blue medical tent. I don't want to see a coach take the ball first in overtime. You got to know what you need. Do you need a field goal? Do you need a touchdown? Let the other team set the tone. It worked for Kansas City in the Super Bowl, and everyone should have known after that they beat the 49ers. Everyone should have known from then on, you defer.
It doesn't seem like the NFL is on the same page right now. So Vrabel, headed into the week, Vrabel was minus 105 for Coach of the Year. Steichen was plus 175. So I guess he probably wasn't going to win Coach of the Year anyway. Man, I got to tell you, some of the plays he designed in the first half were really, really good. So I think he's an awesome coach. And they really should not have been beating Kansas City in Kansas City. I think Kansas City was shocked that they lost control of that game because all the marbles on the line. You're facing Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead, and basically you get him down to the 3-yard line. All you have to do is keep them from having a drive there, and you've been sacking him all day long. I think that Shane Steichen thought that Jonathan Taylor was going to run better, and he had a little faith in Lou Anarumo. Come on, it's Patrick Mahomes. You're killing somebody for losing to Patrick Mahomes? Yes. I still think Steichen will finish second in Coach of the Year voting. And I like him, man. I think he's a great play caller because that team is not really that talented. I mean, they have any right to be this good on offense? I mean, Jonathan Taylor is really good, but he's made Daniel Jones look like a Pro Bowler. So I'm still into Steichen. Look at the guys that when Daniel Jones completes a pass, look how wide open that guy is. You think that's all Shane Steichen?
Got any more?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, by the way. I told you guys he was the best player in the NFL. Not best player, but he's the most exciting player in the NFL. Man, even you, Giants fan, you have to admit that was kind of awesome to watch him just run wild. What was the...
What?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Is this your stock up, by the way?
Yeah.
This is stock up. Yeah, I don't mind. Jahmyr Gibbs is so fun that I don't care if he's on another team. He is absolutely.
Yeah, but Manny didn't enjoy that yesterday.
No, I hated it. Every single second of it. Every single yard. Every single step.
Really? Oh, my God.
Yeah, really, dude.
It's like watching Michael Jordan beat the Sixers. You don't like watching Jahmyr Gibbs run? Who
Not
cares?
against my team, man.
I
It's not
love
rocket
it.
science. It's sports.
I love it. Hey, you almost won the game anyway.
Oh, whoop-de-damn-do.
Did you like
total yards.
watching George Pickens catch 9 passes for 146 yards against your team yesterday?
that was fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but George Pickens, no, not really.
Oh.
But Jahmyr Gibbs, I would have liked. I would have been, if we could have been, if it didn't cost him the game and Jahmyr Gibbs had some crazy highlight runs, I would have very much enjoyed that. It's like Barry Sanders. When I used to watch Barry Sanders, even against the Eagles,
George
I rooted
Pickens
for Sanders
looked like
the whole
Jerry
time.
Rice yesterday. Was that fun? Yeah.
But Barry Sanders was awesome. Even
So
when he
was
beat
Jerry
your team,
Rice.
it was completely amazing.
So was Jerry Rice.
No,
I've been
Jerry
told.
Rice, that wasn't like Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders would do this whirling dervish thing. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyone? No?
Yeah, sure. Barry Sanders.
No, we know he's great.
I
No
recall.
one wants to see him run over their team. It's not fun when someone else has a career day against your team. Even if you respect it, nobody wants to watch it. All right, there's your
I was rooting for my
MVP
team to
500.
lose, and I was happy Lamar Jackson couldn't run.
Still, right.
I don't want to see him just like pants my Jets on national TV. Who wants to see that?
You just want to get beat in an anonymity. You don't want to get beat in a way that is like just totally embarrassing, like what happened yesterday with the Giants.
Back when in the 90s, I enjoyed watching Michael Jordan dunk on Sixers center Mike Jaminski. I'm not going to lie. I was like, that was awesome.
That's why Sixers fans suck.
Back then, trust me, EJ, we were not going to beat Michael Jordan. You might as well enjoy the show. I'm being dead serious. And same with the Giants. You might as well enjoy Jahmyr Gibbs. What the heck do you think is going to happen?
They had the lead.
So what? They didn't even need the win. He was awesome. He would get into the backfield and God, he's so much faster for a little guy. He's outrunning all the DBs. Amazing.
Yeah, we all watched it. Okay, let's get to Bogish, who's got headlines for us.
I hated that.
These headlines are sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December, 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC.
Deeper.
In Eagle collapses cool, a Cowboy comeback not so much.
Prescott on second down. Back and runs up out of the pocket. Runs to his left, to the 10, to the 5, catch to his right. Somersault at the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown for the captain! Touchdown, Prescott!
The great Brad Sham on Cowboys radio. Dak Prescott threw a pair of touchdowns, then ran for that one to fully erase the Eagles' 21-zip second quarter lead. That is. Dak then set up Brandon Aubrey's game-winning 42-yard kick as time expired.
When you have a game like this, talking about the belief or knowing that's what this allows guys in that locker room to do is to believe we're going to come back or know that we have the team, the brotherhood, the connection to do just that.
This is the largest lead the Eagles have blown since 99, and it happened despite Jalen Hurts remembering he can throw to A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 111 yards, and a score. The Rams taking advantage of the Philly loss, pounding the Bucs in L.A. on Sunday Night Football 34-7. It was 31-7 at halftime. Tampa losing its third straight and lost Baker Mayfield to a left shoulder injury, MRI today. Todd Bowles will start Teddy Bridgewater if necessary.
Teddy will play if he's out for some time. Obviously, we'll bring up Connor from behind and we'll go from there. Very confident in what Teddy can do. With a full week of practice, taking every snap and every play, we think he'll be fine.
The Bucs play the Cardinals this weekend. Mayfield threw for just 41 yards, 2 picks before getting hurt. He did not return for the second half. Lastly, from yesterday, the Raiders fired offensive coordinator Chip Kelly a few hours after that 24-10 loss to the Browns, where Geno Smith was sacked 10 times.
Who is Connor? I just looked it up, and I don't even know if I have the right name.
Yeah, I was wondering who.
We'll
Connor
bring up
was
Connor
too.
from behind. Is Connor Basilek?
Sure. Is he on the Bucs practice squad?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's do it.
Yeah, he's the former Bowling Green quarterback.
Oh, of course, the Falcons.
Teddy said that like, oh, you guys all know we'll bring up Connor. Okay.
Yeah, Connor.
Let's
Yeah.
let the audience figure that one out.
Yeah, Connor from,
Teddy Bridgewater is, I'd say, the leader in the clubhouse for the best backup quarterback commercial. What's his, the woman is breaking up with her boyfriend, and he says, it's not your job to.
No, you got it wrong.
What is it?
It's 2 women who are sitting at a coffee shop.
Sure.
And one woman is trying to complain about her boyfriend to the other woman, and the woman's not paying attention. The friend is not. So she calls in backup friend Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
And he engages into the conversation.
Yeah, he puts
that's really funny.
his hands on his chin too. Yeah,
He goes,
he really committed.
"You're not a mechanic. It's not your job to fix them."
Yes, that's a lie.
It's a great commercial.
Is he still a suspended high school football coach?
I
Teddy
think so.
Bridgewater?
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing the NFL does not.
That's kind of lame.
No, I know.
He was just like buying pizza and giving rides to kids.
You
right?
can't do that, Maggie.
Yeah.
It's like an unfair advantage. I'm like, I don't know. That's like always seems like what the best high school coaches
You should
always
not
do.
be feeding the children, Margaret.
I think he was paying for like recovery stuff, like massages and that kind of stuff too. Yeah.
It's a bridge too far.
Wow,
Unintended.
a bridge too far.
Bridgewater too.
Wow,
I'll be here
Maggie,
I'll be here mostly all week.
That is a Perloff-ism right there.
I'm sitting next to him for too long. Anything else?
I mean, I got a lot, but I don't want to follow that. I can't believe Perloff somehow, before I was going to play this, randomly mentioned Messi.
DePaul leaves for Messi. Messi to Silvetti. Silvetti across. Messi's header is in!
So Messi scored once last night and then 3 second-half assists. Inter Miami crushing FC Cincinnati 4-0. NYCFC then beat the regular season champs, the Philadelphia Union, 1-0.
Thank
So
you.
New York and Miami meet in the Eastern Conference Final in Florida on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
And Cal football reportedly firing head coach Justin Wilcox. They are bowl eligible for a third straight season, but just 6-5, 48-55 overall in his 9 seasons. Ron Rivera, don't forget, theoretically gets to make this higher now for Cal. He's their GM.
So this is a tough coaching cycle to be like Cal or, Virginia Tech worked out really well. They got James Franklin.
They got kind of lucky.
But some, like the Lane Kiffin saga is still going on. We'll get to that in just a moment. We got details for you. But if you're Cal, like, is this the time you want to be in a coaching search?
Arkansas also is in a tough spot too.
I mean, but Arkansas, to be fair to them, they jumped into this months ago.
I know, but who's talking about anybody going to Arkansas? Rhett Lashley just got a huge bag to stay at SMU. So,
yeah.
Like those mid-tier teams, I would hate to be in. That's why I think FSU kept Mike Norvell. They were just like, what are we doing here? Nobody's going to want to pick us over some of these other schools.
Yeah, it's a tough cycle to be in. But yeah, Arkansas at least fired Pittman. Like, they were one of the first.
Yeah,
they didn't realize what was going to happen after.
They let Bobby Petrino coach the rest of the season. That's how much they didn't care.
Like, if they knew that Brian Kelly was going to get fired, Napier, you probably could have figured out.
The name I saw floating around for Cal, he's 8-4 in the HBCUs. How about Deshaun Jackson?
Oh,
look at that.
Delaware State, 8-4.
Does he bring Marshawn?
I don't know. Does he bring Clinton Portis? They're podcast partners.
Don't do that.
Just don't. Just definitely run the ball into the end zone. Do not fumble to one.
I like to sleep with the fan on, even when it's chilly outside.
No, there was a story, and this was 100% a rumor, so I'm just going to tell you that was a rumor. There was a rumor in D.C. when Clinton Portis was the running back for the Washington football team that we don't say the name of anymore, and he got pulled over, and they asked, "What's your address?" and he didn't know.
I love that guy.
May have been someone else in the car.
Great Miami Hurricane.
710
I would have said the
ISN.
football stadium address.
Yeah.
I would have said like RFK Stadium.
This was also
end zone.
Before the time of
The north end zone, buddy.
This is before the time of GPSs and things like that.
Oh,
You actually
MapQuest?
had to know where you lived. I don't even know if MapQuest is around.
Good Lord, you guys
early
lived around
2000s.
in the Stone Age.
It was tough. We used to get lost. We had maps, actual maps.
Like real maps.
Mhm.
The ones that you would fold up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You had to like ask people for directions and then
Oh,
hope they
God.
were
Can
right.
you imagine with my social anxiety? Oh, I'd be lost forever.
Still driving around. Now, is that Main Street or Main Avenue?
Who knows? Who cares? Let's just keep driving on it.
888-710-4ISN. How did we get anywhere? 888-710-4476. Coming up, they did it again yesterday. How? How do they keep winning these games? Tell you who we're talking about next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Get to the Bears in just a moment. How they keep pulling out these wins, bro. It's just unbelievable. And they stay atop the NFC North. But quickly, can I tell you a quick story from my dinner on Saturday night? So me and a bunch of chicas go out on the town for my friend's birthday. And we get to this big restaurant. We were kind of going big, right? It's a bunch of women. We don't really get to go out very much, and because everyone's got kids and jobs and all that stuff. So we go out, and we get this big table. We got 8 people, 8 women, all at the table.
Fun.
So we're like, all right, we all love our friend. It's her birthday. Let's start big. Call Kelly. It was Kelly. Round of champagne, okay? Or bubbly, whatever they had. Prosecco, champagne, doesn't matter, okay? Round of bubbly to get to put the boat in the water, on this big table. A lot of us don't know each other very well. So loosen everybody up a little bit. So we're kind of like in the back in this big circular table, okay? And so we can see the busboy / waiter, whoever it was.
Italian restaurant?
No. With a tray with 8 champagne glasses on it.
Oh, no. Are you setting up what I think you're setting up?
I wish. How is everything in the world now videotaped somehow? There's video for everything, and somehow there's not video for this. The guy's coming towards the table, and he's walking on carpet, and all of a sudden, the foot hits something, Pearl, and it was like a movie. I swear it was happening in slow-mo. The dude caught himself, and as the tray with 8 champagne glasses is just wobbling, one goes down, and it was. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking of it. It was like a bowling pins, just every
that
single
poor busboy waiter person, man.
Did the whole restaurant stop?
We were in like this little smaller area, so it just freaked everybody out. It's like a big, loud crash, 8 champagne glasses. And then he had to clean it all up.
Oh, that poor
guy. Then he had to bring more.
Did the glass just shatter everywhere?
Shattered everywhere. Like we were all crunching on glass like the rest of the night.
He probably thought about that the entire weekend. That happened on Saturday night. That ruined his Sunday.
Poor guy.
And champagne glasses are really thin glass, right?
He handled it in stride. What are you going to do? I was happy that, sometimes this happens where the restaurant people will clap. I'm glad nobody more embarrassed him. It just got really quiet. And that was the beginning of the dinner.
Well, wait until he went back into the kitchen and he was like, hey guys, I need that champagne again and they probably clapped for him then.
Listen, it was a huge restaurant. It was very busy. This kind of stuff happens all the time. But he bit it. And I'm like, how is everything in the world on videotape and somehow this got away?
That ever happened to you?
Oh, I've dropped stuff. Totally. I grew up in the restaurant business.
Yeah,
you drop things all the time. I don't think I never had a disaster like that. 8 champagne glasses just crash.
What's the biggest disaster that you had while serving?
Oh gosh. I mean, I've spilled wine on people.
On people?
Wow. Red wine?
Red wine?
I've never read in my recollection.
So what are you supposed to do as a waiter when you mess up like something like that? What's the professional reaction?
You just clean it up. Just clean it up. That's the number one. If you spill wine on somebody, I think the etiquette would be to quickly get them club soda so that maybe can lift the stain out. And then you offer to pay their dry cleaning bill. If it's red wine. This thankfully did not.
You have no remorse for that poor guy, man. You also worked in the restaurant business.
Champagne glasses. It was so funny.
You're over here laughing at this poor guy. You also worked in the restaurant business. Show some compassion. You're evil.
No, it's one of those things. It's almost like when someone slips on the ice, and it's so funny, but you have to first ask, are you okay? Because that's what good people do.
Well, that's kind of what happened in this studio last week.
What's that?
Remember when our guy Scarpacci absolutely bit it.
My God.
Sitting next to right in Manny's chair.
Manny, I thought Scarpacci was filling in for you on Friday. I thought he fainted back there. He just fell off the chair and
he
fell
just
onto the ground.
Yeah, and that was the hardest thump I think I've ever heard in my life.
Was it during the show or did
it was a commercial break?
It was a commercial break. It was literally the first commercial break. So this is how the show began, basically.
God, he fell on his face at 6:20 in the morning?
Nope, on his butt.
That's probably why he fell. Why he fell at 6:20. It's probably why, because it was so damn early.
The guy sleeps here to make sure that he's on time for the shift, and he was that disoriented?
Yeah, he just his feet got tangled up.
Scarpacci.
Oh, it was.
I forgot about that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the whole building shook. I mean, he just hit so hard.
Yeah, it's not because he's a big dude.
Because the chair is high. So he because I had it sort of corner my eye. He got some air. There was some hang time from the when he got up to the fall.
And just for a visual here, if you guys were not watching on the stream, Scarpacci doesn't act like, but looks a bit like Chris from Family Guy.
Oh.
Not exactly, but kind of, right?
His long hair, but besides that.
He doesn't act like him. He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
I see the comparisons. You're an evil woman again.
Evil. Nothing bad happened. The busboy drops 8 champagne glasses.
And now you're making fun of the way Scarpacci looks.
No, Scarpacci's fine. He does a great job.
does a spectacular job.
He recovered from that. I mean, I didn't know if he was going to be able to. We're going to have to get someone out of the bullpen.
I didn't know that he sleeps here before the shift. Is that true?
Yes, he told me that too.
Yeah, he's anxiety riddled. I have no idea on one of the couches around here, but he's riddled with anxiety that he'll miss his alarm to come in here for this,
I respect that.
time slot.
I respect that.
So he'll come in from Long Island overnight, take one of the last trains out of Long Island, and go ahead and sleep in here.
Man, all that for us.
That's kind of smart.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's commitment.
It's dedicated.
That sounds like a part-time worker in a radio station.
I mean, that is true too.
He should have a bigger job.
I am glad that he does have a home, by the way, that you cleared that up, that he does live in Long Island in a home. He's not just like wandering around waiting for Maggie and Perloff shift.
Waiting for Manny to take the day off.
to get
By the way, Manny, you missed the Costco guys.
I did see that, but all right, if I miss the Costco guys, I guess I'll just go to my local Costco.
Not the same.
Sure, they'll be there.
It'll be 3 big booms if I go there by myself.
Yeah. Are you a fan too?
I dabble.
You know who reached out, was so excited that we got to meet him?
Who's
Bart
that?
Winkler.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Bart Winkler. Hosts later on this evening on Infinity Sports Network.
You say, could
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
The Chiefs have never led in this football game. Ariza waits for the go signal. Butker's kick is good, and the Chiefs have not led in this game until now. They get a walk-off field goal in overtime from Harrison Butker. Kansas City 23, the Colts 20.
Chiefs Radio, and that was a big one. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Colts had a chance, Pearl, to potentially bury the Chiefs, a team they could very well see in the playoffs, and couldn't do it, even though they led 20-9 with 9 minutes left to go in this game. The Chiefs came back. The defense locked down against Daniel Jones, had him confused. They bottled up the run game. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes, a couple signature drives and a couple big throws to Rashee Rice and one to Xavier Worthy that essentially flipped this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are still a little confusing because they had a couple opportunities to really take control of the game and did not. I don't understand why the offense is not functioning throughout the whole game. I get the last 5 minutes he was awesome, or last 9 minutes. But there were a lot of opportunities for the Chiefs to really take control of the game because they had whatever. Steve Spagnuolo figured out Daniel Jones of the offense quite easily.
Yeah.
So you were just waiting, like, when are the Chiefs going to take the lead? What's happening here? It took them longer than I expected.
Yeah, I want to say it was a weird game. I mean, listen, the first, the score for Indianapolis early on was set up by a bad Patrick Mahomes, like a tipped interception, and it gave the Indianapolis Colts really good field position. And then it kind of felt like they had control. And then a flip switched, whether that was the blitz coming from Spagnuolo. All of a sudden, the Colts could only throw the ball. They threw on 9 straight plays in a spread across 3 and outs. And Daniel Jones had not even a second. He was being suffocated. That very athletic offensive line they were talking about for the Colts just got manhandled by the Chiefs defense. And you give Mahomes enough time, like, he's going to figure it out. And obviously, Rice getting free for one big 40-plus yard gain, like, literally flipped the win probability from like 20% to 60% or something, because the Chiefs kind of feel inevitable. And if you're the Colts, you can't allow these to get away. This is why people don't generally see the Colts as a real Super Bowl contender.
Oh, yeah. I don't, there's no shame in losing at Kansas City. I think the score was a little deceiving because you're right. There was a short field on one, and then Kansas City had a touchdown taken away by probably the wrong face mask call. So there's even though the score was 20-9, it never really felt like the Colts were in control of that game, in the sense that they were getting outplayed. The Chiefs missed a bunch of plays by just an inch, and that's been the story all year long. It's either been an inch, and the penalties. The penalty. I know that the Colts had more penalties on them, but the penalties kill the Chiefs' offense. It's been the same story all year long, where they're just so close. It feels like they're 5% off. I can't quite put my finger on it, and they did pull out the win. But you can't really take every game down to the wire like that, especially at home. I'm a little worried about the Chiefs making the playoffs now. I still have them as my Super Bowl favorite. I just can't guarantee they make the postseason. No, I'm being dead serious. I think Vegas is right with me. Like, they don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs, but if they do, they're winning the whole thing. Is that fair? Who's gonna beat them?
64% chance to make the playoffs right now, so they'll make it. If they lose to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, it only goes down to like 50%. So they're still in a good spot. It's just, I don't know. I mean, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. Believe it when you see it. But there's nothing about this Chiefs team to me that looks like they're anywhere close to the teams that were making the Super Bowls over this last half decade.
Oh, I think they're exactly. I mean, what was last year's team? Last year's team couldn't move the ball at all.
15-2.
They were not. This team is probably better than that team. At least they have Rice back, and they have Travis Kelce's playing well. I don't know what's better about last year's team. Forget the record. Nothing.
Well, but I can't just forget the record. They were awesome in the one-score games. This time they finally get a win in a one-score game, and it took until basically Thanksgiving for the Chiefs to get over 500. Like, it's just been it doesn't look the same to me. And now they're 6-5. Colts go to 8-3. But in the AFC, the Patriots are still the top of the heap. They were the first team to get to 10 wins this season.
I actually think the Chiefs are better than last year. I mean, they had Joe Thuney at left tackle by the end of the season.
They were sitting guys in week 18.
Right, I know, but I just think the team is on paper better because you have a fully realized Rashee Rice is probably their best offensive weapon. Actually, absolutely their best offensive weapon. Xavier Worthy contributed. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't be better. I don't know exactly what's happening here.
Well, the run game is messed up. That's a big part of it. Yeah, so you had Kareem Hunt.
Wasn't great last year.
Kareem Hunt finally, was able to get through a little bit, but, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was elevated from the practice squad, this is all while Isaiah Pacheco still dealing with a knee injury. I think the lack of a run game is probably hurting them. But anyway, the Chiefs get the win, 23-20 in overtime. Also, really, I thought, bizarre decision by Shane Steichen, the head coach of the Colts. They win the coin toss in overtime, okay? So in these new rules, both teams possess the ball in overtime no matter what. So why you would take the ball first doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Don't you want to see what you need to win? Do I need a touchdown? Do I just need a field goal? I've got 4 downs now to play with on every single, when everything resets, as opposed to you take the ball first and they went 3 and out. Now the Chiefs know, okay, I need a field goal and I win the game. It's such an advantage for the second team. It's one that the Chiefs used when they beat the 49ers in overtime in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, you absolutely nailed it earlier in the show. The Chiefs were coming off a 15-play drive for 87 yards because they got pinned down. I mean, the Colts defense had every chance to stop the Chiefs and couldn't at the end of regulation. The Chiefs would have walked in for a touchdown. I mean, it would have been, you're basically handing them a touchdown. They were exhausted.
Okay, but so here's my thing about that.
So they beat down 27-20 with the force to score a touchdown. The Chiefs would have protected the end zone.
Okay, but here's my thing about that. I understand, and guys get tired at the end of games. Totally get that. But you have a lot of time from when time expires in regulation to when you actually take the field. You have real time. You've got commercial breaks on either side, plus you have a coin toss. So you probably have, 10 minutes of real time to catch your breath? These are professional football players. How much more time are you going to get? It just seems like they could have reset there, but what do I know? And the Colts end up losing this game that, again, feels like it's going to come back to haunt them.
By the way, give a lot of credit to Andy Reid. Did you notice that they kept going to the run game, which was not Andy Reid-like? When normally Kareem Hunt had 30 carries for 104 yards, I was shocked. Because, again, they were just trailing on the scoreboard. They were trailing, but they were kind of controlling the game. The fact that they stuck with the conservative offense, that is very not like Andy Reid. I think that's what wore the Colts out ultimately. Was they could, by the end, they just could not get the Chiefs off the field, except for one weird drive where Mahomes was totally off. But generally, I think the Chiefs controlled the second half of the game very, very well. And Andy Reid, I'm telling you, this was
not
my
about
favorite.
Reid. This was about Spagnuolo finally bringing the blitz and confusing Daniel Jones. That he's the MVP of this game.
I think the Chiefs held on to the ball. I think I'm not the first person to say it was a real masterclass on Andy Reid being patient. Because normally Andy Reid back with the Eagles would have started throwing it all over we're down 11, panic time, and they stuck with their game plan, totally controlled the second half. And once Daniel Jones couldn't get a first down. It was like 3rd and 4, and he would just miss and miss and miss. It was very frustrating if you're a Colts fan, but I'm not totally killing them. They weren't supposed to win that game. Did you think the Colts were going to go into KC and win? Because I did not at all. I was actually shocked the game was as close as it was.
Again, who cares about what you think before the game? When you're in the game and they're up 20-9 with 9 minutes left to go, you think they can close it out. Good teams would have closed that out. All right, let's get to the NFL in 60.
Yeah.
Maggie and Perloff take you around the league, recapping this weekend's football action. Time for NFL in 60.
By the way, Bills totally would have lost that game. to the Chiefs. Up 20-9.
Oh, who cares?
I'm just saying.
A lot of games.
I'm just saying, that's a function of the Chiefs. But all right, let's get started.
Oh, all right. Let's go to Chicago, where how about your first place Chicago Bears? They come from behind and beat the Steelers at home 31-28.
The Bears.
I don't know what to say. I mean, this was against a backup quarterback, Pearl, and Mason Rudolph, who ultimately played fine, but this Bears defense, they're awesome. They had all these injuries yesterday. Guys kept leaving the field. They're down to like 3 defensive tackles and like 2 linebackers, and they were amazing. Montez Sweat had the big 2 sacks, a critical one late in the third quarter that turned into a game-winning touchdown run by Kyle Monongai. Bears defense, I don't know what to say. They were awesome yesterday against, again, backup quarterback, but what's the big difference between Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, really?
Yeah, I mean, that was touch and go there at the last drive. I actually thought Pittsburgh was going to win the game. Caleb Williams is incredible because he will make an amazing play, and then he will throw the ball 9 yards behind a guy again and again and again. Last night he was 19 for 35. He's fantastically inconsistent. Did you watch 2 weeks ago? Tom Brady was calling his games, and he's like, he does everything right. You just don't know where the ball is going to go, and that's why he's one of the most entertaining players.
Also, T.J. Watt, 115th career sack, passing his brother J.J.
Yeah, with his brother in the booth. That was cool.
There's a slow start for New England, but they got right back on track. They beat Cincinnati 26-20 on the road.
This game was pretty sad. I got to give Cincinnati a lot of credit for hanging in there. Chase Brown is back, and Mike Gesicki actually looked good. But, Maggie, you talked about it earlier. This made me really doubt the Patriots because they look kind of like the worst team out of the two of them for most of the game.
Yeah, which is funny because Cincinnati's defense is terrible. Now, they have been playing a tiny bit better, but I think the biggest issue for the Patriots is the red zone. Like, they are fine moving the ball, but then they get to the red zone, and you're not really sure sometimes with Drake May. It feels like there are a lot of drives that end in field goals that really should be touchdowns, and you're seeing Mike Vrabel's kind of going for it on some of these, trying to establish a culture, and I think that can be a problem at times.
Let's go.
Or I guess Josh McDaniels, whoever's ultimately making the decisions on offense.
Let's go to Detroit, where Jahmyr Gibbs averaged an insane 14.6 yards per carry, which equaled 1.0 Giants defensive coordinators fired. Shane Bowen has been fired after the Lions were able to come back and beat those New York Giants 34-27 on those Jahmyr Gibbs big runs.
Wow. Yeah, so that's the news from today. The Giants defensive coordinator gets fired. Okay, so I actually thought about this when Jahmyr Gibbs was running for a touchdown yesterday. What a shame it would be if a guy this good never wins a Super Bowl. And I know we don't usually think that way with running backs. I think we usually think that way with quarterbacks, Pearl. Like quarterbacks, you want to see them finally get over the top. I was thinking about that with Jahmyr Gibbs. You can't have another all-time Lions running back a la Barry Sanders never win anything. So I did think about that. The other big takeaway from this game was a very crazy Jameis Winston touchdown where he receives a touchdown pass from, what was it, Gunnar Olszewski? And then sheds a block, sheds a corner and gets into the end zone.
Gibbs hit 22.3 miles per hour on one of his runs, according to AWS. He can fly. He's only 23, Maggie, so I don't know that we have to worry about him. I even put him into that kind of category. It's like, oh, man, this guy's not going to win a Super Bowl. Because this is a long time to win one in Detroit. I think Saquon was 28 when he won with the Eagles. And by the way, I love that you're putting my guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, into that level of player. I don't think until really now people thought of him. He was sharing with Montgomery as recently as last year. But he's awesome. It reminds me a combination of Marshall Faulk and Saquon because he can catch the ball so well.
Let's go to Green Bay, where J.J. McCarthy's alter ego 9 only completed 12 of 19 and 87 yards in the Vikings' loss to the Green Bay Packers. Packers win 23-6.
I think this is kind of what the Packers had in mind when they traded for Micah Parsons, that they could win the games with defense. Remember when they had Aaron Rodgers, all they did was draft defense, and they don't seem to mind that Jordan Love only threw 21 passes.
Yep.
I actually felt really good about the Packers coming out of this game, and Micah Parsons in particular seems like he's kind of figuring it out there. Had 2 sacks yesterday and makes everyone around him better. This is the formula for better or worse for Green Bay?
I mean, if the defense is peaking, I mean, if this is what it's going to look like, then they should be okay. Some reason, I think it was the Josh Jacobs injury kind of maybe threw the offense for the Packers a little bit into a blender, but it looks like Emmanuel Wilson will be able to carry the load for them. The big question this year has been about the Packers, like, skill position players and their offensive line a little, but certainly the skill position players. And they were not really the story yesterday. Yesterday, the story was the defense.
But
they were fantastic.
The offense has been in a blender for a while, kind of. I know you've kind of gone back and forth with it. You kind of need a quarterback to win at some point, but Jordan Love is barely throwing.
A 2,000-yard season could be brewing in Seattle. Jackson Smith-Njigba had another 167 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Seahawks' road win over the Titans, 30-24.
Yeah, at one point this got a little tight at the end, which I was a little surprised. For Seattle, this is not where I'm going to put the litmus test, right? The litmus test for Seattle is going to come a little bit later in the season when they host the Rams at home, right? The Rams look like the class of the NFC, and I think if we're going to start to believe in Sam Darnold, because he's capable of kind of laying eggs in big games, he's got to really show up for that Rams game. And Cam Ward continues to be fun and interesting to watch, and I can see why this Titans job might be an attractive one in this cycle.
Yeah, Cam Ward, 28 for 42, 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 on-platform throws. Basically, he was running around. It's like, is he going out of bounds? I can't tell. Or is he going to try and find somebody? He's a good time. You're right. He got kind of close, but not close at the same time. Seattle almost did beat the Rams, even when Darnold played terribly. That is going to be a game of the year type of field.
The Ravens outscored the Jets 20-3 in the second half, overcoming a 7-3 deficit at halftime. They beat New York 23-10 at home.
I got to be honest, I watched 0.0 of this, and I tried. There was an ugly feel about this game, and even with Tyrod Taylor in there, I just can't do it. Maybe it's the uniforms. I don't know what's going on. I can't add anything to this game. I flipped to it, and I was revulsed. I'm sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I did watch some of this. It was pretty ugly for the Ravens. They turned it on a little in the second half, and Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns, but it's kind of been masking the fact that he has not been nearly this. You're always talking about Saquon Barkley is not the guy he was. Derrick Henry is not the guy he was.
There's a lot of stats behind that. His miles per hour and stuff like that are way down.
Yeah, and Tyrod Taylor, EJ, looks better for the Jets, that's for sure. I don't know if that's what you want, though.
What's the deal with Kyle Hamilton? I know they said that he's going to be okay after the game. He has an ankle issue. They need to clone him and make 10 more of him because I worry about that Ravens defense.
Probably it's not Brady's dog, okay?
That's what I was thinking about, Brady's dog. Exactly.
Shedeur Sanders became the first Browns QB to win in their first career start since 1999.
Can I say who it was?
Damn.
Because I saw the stat ever. Eric Zaire, former Georgia quarterback. Love him.
Nice job.
Look at that. They beat the Ravens 24-10. Raiders, 24-10.
Yeah, they lost to the Ravens last week bad. No, Shedeur looked much better this week. Definitely looked better. Looked like, pro-adjacent quarterback. A lot of his yardage came on some easy screen passes and just some easy throws, but also made a really nice long bomb to Isaiah Bond. So there's definitely something here. He should absolutely start the next game.
Oh, yeah.
My thing is, I still maintain, I think Shedeur is auditioning for other teams. I think the Browns will see him as an asset. Perhaps they could trade in a bad quarterback draft because they're going to have a top pick. I don't think they can help themselves from drafting another QB.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. The problem is they might win some of these games and get knocked down to 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe they can't find their guy. You know what it is? Physically, he just looks like an NFL quarterback where Dylan Gabriel does not. I mean, I hate to be that shallow, but you kind of nailed it. He looks like he knows what he's doing to a starting quarterback adjacent, and also he stopped backing up as much. He did it a few times, but he wasn't running around trying to make a play. He learned to get rid of the ball in 1 week, which is great.
Honestly, buried the lead, 10 sacks from the Browns. Defense really was the story, and Las Vegas is so bad that they fired Chip Kelly after the game. He was the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah, and Myles Garrett clearly going to get the sack record. He's been awesome.
That's some bad money over there. All right, let's go to Arizona, where this was one the Jaguars definitely needed with the Chiefs winning earlier in the day. Jags go to Glendale and beat the Cardinals 27-24 in overtime.
So the Chiefs need the Jags to lose. This was Because if they're in a tiebreaker, they already lost to the Jags. This game had huge impact, believe it or not. I know it was ugly.
No, it does.
But it really could affect the AFC playoff picture because the Jags have some winnable games on their schedule, and they were blowing this in real time yesterday. You could see it happening. Trevor Lawrence is so inconsistent. He'll make a great play and then a bad play. But thank God for Jacksonville. They got away with the W.
Yeah, they have the 6th seed right now if the playoffs started today. And this is big because it's obviously they need to keep pace because they have the head-to-head over the Chiefs, as Perloff just said. And so this was massive for them. And Trevor Lawrence, the turnovers, I mean, everything about it, just he does not look like the guy. Yet they keep winning some of these games.
But some throws, he looks like the guy.
Yeah, the
like
Parker Washington touchdown.
Yeah.
How did that connect? Okay,
right, like how could you make a throw
that
that good and then make so many throws that are not good? There's something there.
This is the first time Trevor Lawrence is actually able to win a game in which he gave the ball away 3 times or more. The Arizona Cardinals, ladies and gentlemen.
CeeDee Lamb says he can hold his liquor. I think the Cowboys would prefer he held on to the football a little bit more, but they were still able to come back from 21 points down and beat the Eagles 24-21.
Yeah, they're going to be passing around the bottle after this one because it's going to take years off their lives. Big comeback for Dallas, totally. I'm not buying them as a playoff team necessarily, but you cannot ignore the positive steps forward after what I thought was a big step back in trading Micah Parsons when they did, getting Quinnen Williams, the George Pickens trade that happened before the season. Some of these other moves have actually worked out gangbusters, maybe none bigger than Pickens, who's excellent yesterday.
Okay, you have to look at now the playoff picture. Short week, Kansas City coming off an overtime game, and it's in Dallas. Dallas seems like they're a better team at home. I think that the one thing they have to do is they have to stop with the mistakes. CeeDee Lamb, I would not run him over the middle. I was actually like, God, take this guy out of the game. He's lost his confidence. If they can play mistake-free football and push around KC a little bit because KC's hopefully tired, I see them really having a chance on Thanksgiving Day. They're 3.5-point dogs.
Yeah.
They're clearly, you have to admit, we argued about this earlier in the show. You said it might be too late, but they're a good team now. If they had this team from week 1.
Yeah, well, the defense has gotten much better.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation. So I think they have the talent to make this run toward the playoff.
Perloff said he watched none of the Jets and Ravens. I didn't even know this game happened. Falcons beat the Saints 24-10 in New Orleans.
You missed the big Kirk Cousins, Tyler Shuck showdown? How dare you,
big
EJ?
old NFC South showdown.
Yeah.
You might not have recognized the Saints because they have that weird helmet going on. I don't know if you guys. So you might have watched it and not even know. You thought you were watching like a Progressive commercial with fake teams.
This is. Here's the big thing. The NFC South is gettable. And I don't know, Pearl, if it's going to necessarily be the Falcons with 4 wins, whereas Tampa Bay is leading the division with 6. But Tampa Bay is cratering. We'll talk about them in a moment. And Baker Mayfield got hurt last night. Meanwhile, Carolina's going to play tonight against San Francisco. They've got 6 wins also. If Atlanta could put something together here, maybe they have a shot. I think it's probably the only way that Raheem Morris probably keeps his job, I would imagine. And their defense did look pretty good yesterday, but how can you tell because the Saints are so bad?
I mean, the Saints are completing the assignment. They are full on tanking.
Yeah.
Did see my guy Taysom Hill trying to get some first downs yesterday. I'm right with EJ. I was very frustrated on the 4:00 window when Red Zone would go to that game and turn the other game off. Like, why do we care? Yeah, like exactly. They should have shown I don't know, because I had the Eagles on the big TV and Red Zone. And they did not show every snap of Shador, and it was frustrating to me. I'm like, what do I care about Atlanta, New Orleans? Sorry, Atlanta fans.
All right, we wrap up with this one being an absolute blowout. Rams rout the Bucs 34-7. Number 1 seed in the NFC now. Your Los Angeles Rams.
How long did it take till that game was over? Maybe 5 minutes?
I was going to say about a quarter and a half before you realize, oh boy, the Bucs aren't coming back from this one.
No, they just did not look right from the get-go. The Rams, that was a celebration last night. Feels like the Rams are sort of already thinking, oh, we got to get the number 1 seed. Like the Super Bowl is the goal there. Stafford, I would say he looks better than he ever did. It's just the peak Matthew Stafford, a guy threw for 5,000 yards in Detroit. He looks good. The announcer said something really interesting that caught my attention.
What's that?
That he's been doing Pilates and his core is really strong. Did you hear that conversation?
Yeah, it's a little like change my diet, best shape of my life. The guy got an epidural, man. He can't feel his spine.
But Stafford's always been a little lumpy, and now they say he's rock hard abs. I think that's why, this is Collinsworth said it, that's why he's playing so well right now. He's in the best shape of his life to fix that back issue.
Abs are made in the kitchen. Everybody knows that. Who's anybody? So maybe he's eating healthier. Yeah, of course. This is not only are the Rams now the number one seed in the NFC, they now are the Super Bowl favorites, according to Vegas. And this is a bummer here for Baker Mayfield, who's got to get an MRI today on his non-throwing shoulder.
I think abs are made by genetics. If you see someone with a six-pack, that is God-given. That is not made in the kitchen or the gym. Because I feel like I could work out and eat the right things forever and never have a six-pack.
Well, now you just go to the right surgeon. They can get you abs. Shout out
What?
Drake.
You can do that?
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
You could surgically put abs
That's
on?
a male BBL.
You haven't seen the male BBL? I mean,
No.
Drake, where he has no chest muscles, but he's got a six-pack abs. And you're like, how the hell did that happen?
So what if he puts on weight or something?
We have no
It's a great
idea.
question.
That's a hell of a question.
We'll all find out.
That's an enterprising question.
Maybe
right there.
after Thanksgiving, he's going to be forced to pull his shirt up and take a photo.
It's a fact.
Rick Ross claimed that's why he was wearing all his weird stuff during his tour because he gained weight, but the problem was he still had that surgery on the six-pack abs.
That would be a bad look to have a six-pack / beer belly.
Do you guys remember there was a time?
Shout out to all the pair.
I hate to do this because I know she went through a lot of mental issues, but there was a time when Britney Spears was performing at a VMAs or something, and they spray painted the abs on her.
Kevin Federline's sex?
Well, and obviously did, or they were trying to get away with it.
No, I think they were trying to get away with it. They failed.
Oof.
But it was like they spray tanned the abs on, like with some shadows and stuff.
She was Mrs. She was, I guess, Mrs. or Miss VMAs because I didn't even remember that. I know you were going to talk about the snake.
The snake was cool.
I know you were going to talk about the kiss with Madonna.
Yeah, that was a moment.
That was a moment.
Britney Spears VMAs. I'm like, this could be 7 performances. I don't know where she's going here.
It was one of her many comeback attempts. Right. I'll find the photo.
She's back, right?
Does anyone ever really go away?
She went away. But okay. Yeah, I mean, she's obviously got a different storyline going on.
Oh, yeah. No, she's got all types of issues, but I don't think you go away now with social media. Like, you can always just be around.
Oh, yeah. I see the airbrush abs now. Yeah, this was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah,
just wear a shirt.
This looks like when you go to the Halloween store and you say, "Yo, get the Superman costume," and they have like the fake abs.
Yeah, like what I got for my Dan Campbell costume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is kind of.
By the way, what am I going to do with that stuff? It's in my closet right now. I've got Dan Campbell fake muscles. I got all this Detroit Lions stuff.
Be He-Man, Detroit Lions fan He-Man for Halloween next year.
Does anyone want it? Can I give it away? Are we allowed to do that?
The Lion stuff may have trouble, but the muscle suit you can always use for any Halloween. You could be someone else next year.
Or you could just
be Roman Reigns or something like that.
You could just put it on a Thursday.
Just walk around.
Yeah.
We'll show up to Thanksgiving with the fake muscles on.
Sure, why not?
Act like everything's normal.
Absolutely.
Like I'll take a second helping. I've been working out.
Yeah, you have.
Abs are made in the kitchen. 888-710-4ISN. All right, Aaron Rodgers was in the house yesterday to watch his Steelers lose to the Bears, but what was he up to? Get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. It is a football Monday. We've snuck in a lot of soccer, including Maggie during the break was talking all soccer about Yamal. Was doing an interview on 60 Minutes. Or is doing?
Are you serious? And you didn't bring me into the conversation?
No.
Oh, I'm doing it right. Well, apparently, Perloff's doing it right now. Our buddy John Wertheim has a big sit down with Lamine Yamal coming up next week. So free plug for 60 Minutes there.
Yeah.
And he's like the sensation from Spain, 18 years
and
old.
This is not I think this Messi making a run in the MLS is going to start to get a lot of attention over the week. Because when it hits my radar, no, I mean like for non-soccer fans. Mm-hmm. Why are you laughing at me? You're a soccer fan, so you would have no idea.
I'm loving the fact that you didn't know, so now you think you're like the gatekeeper to the like. People.
Are you the litmus test? Maybe Perloff is the litmus test.
Gatekeeper.
He's like on his second MLS season though. It's almost like old news now that he's crushing MLS.
Okay.
Am I wrong, Manny?
I don't want to get in the middle of you guys bickering.
I'm not bickering. I just like this is we've already done the Messi's amazing in MLS thing. No,
all right, but I guess he hasn't. Did Inter Miami make it to the Eastern Conference
Final?
They have
not.
Season?
No.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's why it's the bigger story now.
But are people going to be watching Sunday night?
Probably not.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Do you have to watch this on Apple?
Yeah, but it's free now. So yeah, as long as you just have Apple TV, you don't need the MLS pass. You can just watch it.
But you still need the subscription.
You still
to
need your Apple TV subscription.
I imagine this dude does way more in terms of viewership than if someone not named Messi was playing.
I would think so.
I mean, he's been here for 2 whole seasons, and how much have the ratings gone up for MLS and haven't really exactly skyrocketed.
I just remember, I don't know, I feel like when I watched the Beckham doc, when they made a whole big deal out of him, like, winning the MLS Cup, they made a bigger deal of it than I remember it being when he was here.
Yeah, that's American soccer culture. We hype it up as the American soccer fan or the soccer fan that lives in the United States, but outside of our little bubble, it's almost like the NHL where, you kind of just keep it within yourselves.
I think I'm just trying to figure out, like, how to put this in context. Like, is this like what, LeBron winning a championship in, like, the Puerto Rico? Like what? like what is the MLS?
Winter baseball?
Yeah, no. Like, what is the MLS when it comes to world soccer? I still feel like it's like
it's far behind.
It's like Maction.
It's like a D-tier league.
No, that's not. I think it's like, when you get to watch Buffalo play Akron on a random Tuesday, Wednesday night, you're like,
hell
yes, I'm football's on.
Horns up, baby.
Let me bet on it.
But at the same time, people seem to like also still be into like Messi doing this. I'm the guy. I don't like seeing the old watch guy playing. I want to see the. I prefer.
You only want guys in their peak.
I prefer Messi just retire. Like, I guess this is nice that he's doing well in the MLS.
Hooping.
I mean, but against who? Against who? Who are these guys?
He's hooping on an 8-foot
right.
rim.
I'm like, if he was playing for FC Barcelona still, what would he be? I have no idea.
Pearl, for the record, you started this conversation. Let's get back to football.
You want to
hear?
There was an article in The Athletic about Lamine's pubic injury.
Well,
yeah, and it's a real thing.
Well, I mean,
all jokes aside,
it must be gone because yesterday I watched him pull off 2 incredible assists that was borderline porn.
Yeah, this thing said that this is a common injury for young soccer players, and it's just like a collection of symptoms. They have like it's pain and inflammation and soft tissue issues like in your like midsection from the
But
rigors.
it's not a pulled groin. It's called a pubic.
It's like what are they? There's a name for it, but it's like a weird thing where it's like you don't have this, you don't have that. This is like a general kind of like broad term, but it apparently plagues like late teen, early 20 players. Like I don't know if it's from like the rigors of playing on like a not fully mature body or something. It was a very weird thing, but it's not all our joking aside of.
I'm telling you, his pubic bone looks good because the way that he played the other day.
Listen, you guys want to talk about Lamine Yamal's pubes, you do it on your own time.
I don't think John Wertham's going to. He's a real journalist.
I'm talking about the bone.
Can we get back to something we care about,
yes.
like NFL football?
Headlines
we are talking about football.
Are sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC. The Giants are piecemealing their way to a fresh start. Now it's defensive coordinator Shane Bowen being fired shortly after head coach Brian Dable was let go, and with still some uncertainty around the future of GM Joe Shane. Yesterday's loss in Detroit, the 5th time the Giants wasted a double-digit lead on the road this season. Outside linebacker coach Charlie Bullen is the interim replacement.
Yeah,
Chucky B.
Yeah, sure.
The Raiders, meanwhile, canned OC Chip Kelly last night, shortly after producing just 10 points and allowing 10 sacks against the Browns.
Not bad.
Vegas has lost 5 straight and is 2-9 overall. The Rams are 9-2 after a 34-7 thumping of the Bucs on Sunday Night Football. That is the best record in the NFC, but Sean McVay don't care.
The only thing that would matter is if the season ended right now. So, do you remember who was in first place with 6 weeks left last year? Me either.
LA is so hot right now, they haven't trailed since the second quarter of their Week 6 game. Matthew Stafford adding 3 TDs to his MVP resume last night, while Baker Mayfield did not play the second half. A left shoulder injury, an MRI today. Tampa Bay and Carolina now 6-5 atop the NFC South. The Panthers playing at the Niners tonight. Bryce Young looking forward to the prime time stage, but
it's football at the end of the day. We're focused on executing throughout this week, focus on doing everything that it takes so we can set ourselves up. We have a ton of respect for our opponent, and going out there in a hostile environment is a great opportunity. But we're focused on the football.
The only team to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder this season, the Blazers. Those two back together last night, and it didn't go as well for Portland.
Mitchell angles right on the perimeter against the Blazer zone, right wing to SGA. Sizing up Grant, steps back, fires, angle right three-pointers online, and in there, cha-ching, a Thunder money ball. Gildas Alexander with 37 in 28 minutes. He is special.
Matt Pinto on Thunder Radio. Yes, 37 points, 7 assists, and a 122-95 rout of those Blazers. OKC is now 17-1, which makes them 85-15 over the last 2 regular seasons.
That's crazy.
I mean, these regular season games for the Thunder actually feel like scrimmages. Like this guy, SGA had 29 points in the first half yesterday. I mean, it's just. It's like they play the game, they go out there, they get their sweats in, they beat a team by 20, and then they just move on to the next one.
No, it's like the Warriors when they broke the record. Steph Curry barely played in fourth quarters, as I recall, that season.
Yep.
I don't know why this feels almost more academic that they're just pounding. They're just pounding these teams.
Maybe because load management is more of a thing. So on any given day, you're facing a team with 2 of its stars resting.
I think part of it is because that Warriors team relies so much on the 3. And I know the Thunder hit 3s too, but SGA is not like, I'm Steph Curry, I'm going to take 7 to 8 3-pointers every night. It's just, they're just beating teams purely on talent.
Yeah, this is less fun. The Warriors are like fun, bouncing, celebrating. Yeah. Like this is just, like you said, they show up, punch their ticket, and they go home with a win.
They go home. Meanwhile, have the Raiders announced who's going to call plays yet?
Not as of last night.
Okay, so they've got
Tom Brady.
The other Greg Olson. Is a quarterback's coach, not obviously the Fox broadcast.
I remember that guy.
Bears? Was he a Bears offensive coach?
Maybe. Wide receivers coach, I think, is Chris Beatty. You know what I was thinking? That everyone should have. I know we don't love Nepo babies because,
Go ahead.
We're not one.
because we have no idea what that's like. Because our parents did different things besides being in sports broadcasting. How dare they? But shouldn't everyone have like a Nepo baby on the staff just for a reason like this? It's like, we're firing Chip Kelly, but did you know that you're like a Charlie Weiss Jr.
There's got to be another Shula out there.
Schottenheimer somewhere.
Jerry Neuheisel. They do this in college. They do it perfectly. Yeah, there's not another Schottenheimer we can dig up or something like that.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Greg Olson, the coach's coaching career. This is like his 3rd or 4th stint on the Raiders alone.
I think he's a Carroll guy.
He keeps coming back.
Why?
I mean, he coached for John Gruden at a certain point. Whoever was a coach.
Isn't Gruden's son still on the Raiders as like the strength and conditioning coach?
Where's Jay Gruden?
Let him call plays. Jay Gruden, I think, is just doing radio and stuff.
Right? Or radio, yeah.
But like,
what's John doing?
John would take the job in a second. A little problematic. I don't know. We don't have there's not another Kubiak somewhere.
And Brady's kid's too young still to call plays, right?
I think he's in high school.
He's got to be in high school.
I feel like I said this last year, too, during the coaching cycle. It just feels like this is like the worst crop of assistants I ever remembered.
And the Giants need a coach.
I know, seriously.
Well, to be fair, you guys usually do need a coach.
Like last year
was
one of the years where you actually had some guys we knew, like Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. But I feel like in recent years, this year's going to be another one where they're going to be a bunch of assistants going to be like, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, hell if I know.
Yeah.
Well, Clint Kubiak will probably get a job.
Chris Shula, I think, after last night.
Chris Shula might get a job. Defensive
he
coordinator for the Rams.
A lot of attention.
I think the name Shula carries some weight, but I don't know. Again,
that defense is pretty good, too.
There used to be a time, though, I just feel like, if you were a team that was going to the Super Bowl or a conference championship game, your head coach or your offensive coordinator, whatever, they were going to be a name that we all knew.
Well, Steve Spagnuolo keeps coming back to the Chiefs, or else he probably would have gotten a job at some point. He was a little older.
Yeah, I mean, Spags and Nagy are like...
Nagy's not going anywhere now. He'll wait out Andy Reid.
Right. So, who are these guys? I mean, is your guy Joe Brady going to get a job?
You can have him.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Not the dude in Philly either.
Kevin Patullo?
He's
Hell no.
Last of the week. Josh Grizzard.
Who's that?
The Grizzard guy in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but they're cratering.
It's just like these guys are new.
But he doesn't have any players left.
Yeah.
Anyway. Dig up. Does Cam Cameron have a kid? I don't know.
I just remember there was a certain point where it felt like the whole Steelers staff was getting interviewed for head coaching jobs. It was like Russ Grimm, Ken Wisenhunt, Dick LeBeau. It was like the whole. We knew the whole staff.
I was
don't know that
wondering if
anymore.
Arians was going to somehow make a comeback.
Arians, yeah.
I mean, he's had some health issues, but if he's stable now, wouldn't the Giants love Bruce Arians came?
Oh, are you joking?
No, the problem with Bruce Arians though is this happens to some guys. Like when you're on TV too much. Because he's on Pat McAfee, and he says things every week that I disagree with. And I'm like, man, that guy's my head coach. I would be losing it.
Well, he wouldn't do McAfee anymore.
No, I'm saying I'm getting his thoughts on current football, and it sounds outdated.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Folks, thank you. Coming up, we will get to Aaron Rodgers. Not playing yesterday, but still making a scene. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. So Rodgers did not play yesterday. Mason Rudolph nearly pulled off the win for the Steelers, but Nope, Chicago.
I think he's a bum.
Escapes with another one. This is from Dan Graziano. Covers the NFL for ESPN, Pearl. Aaron Rodgers arrived at Soldier Field about 20 minutes ago, walked one lap around the field, flipped off a couple of the cameras that were filming, and went back inside.
In a mean way or a fun way?
He said he used his right hand to flip the bird, so unclear if he could do that with his left hand. And that was before his status was revealed. Before the game, obviously, he did not play. So Rodgers, again, making himself right at home at Soldier Field, a place he claims to own. My house, he kept saying as he was walking around and flipping the bird to the local fans.
They kind of needed him yesterday. I was saying to myself, Mason Rudolph could do the same thing, but I don't know what they would like. Where are they going now? Because I'm actually a little afraid that my guarantee that they're 9-8 or 10-7 is not even going to come true. But they're 6-5 right now. Is it possible Tomlin loses his not falling below 500 streak?
Very possible. I mean, very possible. So the Ravens now have the lead in the AFC North, so they'd be the 4 seed in the playoffs if they started today. And the thing about Mason Rudolph is he's really good on the short passes. That he can do. It's the longer stuff, which is, not really even the Steelers' MO. They're not really a vertical offense, but he really could not test the Bears secondary at all. So
Yeah. By the way, so 18 straight non-losing seasons under Mike Tomlin. That's a big deal. I think he finds a way to do it. Because the one thing about the Steelers is when you expect them to lose, they win. When you expect them to win, you never know. They could pull off something. They'll watch them beat the Ravens. I'm counting on Mike Tomlin to keep that. That's crazy. 18 years. The guy's never had a losing season.
Nuts. I just also wonder about the idea of bringing Rodgers back for next year. Again, just to put a finer point on the Mason Rudolph, 1 for 6 on passes that were longer than 10 yards, including his only interception of the day. There you go.
So they got your Bills coming up.
Yep, in Pittsburgh. Tough game.
Is it? I can't tell.
Depends if the Bills can take advantage. This is a pretty bad pass defense, the Steelers. So the secondary's been banged up. So maybe if the Bills can throw on them a little bit.
Man, that is a hard game to call because I think both teams have been kind of erratic. Then Steelers have at Baltimore. It's another thing. Maggie, I ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
Who's good in the AFC?
No clue.
It's a simple question. You should be able to answer it. We're 12 weeks in.
I have no idea. I thought the Patriots were good. Yesterday, I was like, I don't know. If Jamar Chase is out there for the Bengals, I think they probably lose that game.
Well, I feel like the Bills are going to beat the Patriots because divisional foes always split. I don't know who's good here. I think the Chiefs are. I'd love to do a show bet. I don't think you would do it against the Chiefs because why would you bet against the Chiefs? Who are you betting on?
I don't know. The Colts were not that impressive to me yesterday.
No.
Obviously, they blew a lead. Again, the Ravens haven't been impressive. Depends how you feel about Denver. The Chargers are banged up on the offensive line. The Jags, who knows? Trevor Lawrence turns the ball over 3 times and somehow they still win in overtime against Arizona. I have no idea. The Houston Texans, I thought their defense is so good, but the offense is not good.
Can I convince you maybe that your Bills have a lane or just depending on who they play, is there any chance? I know you're kind of down on where they are right now. Is there any chance they get the set of right matchups and get all the way through the AFC?
No. I don't think so. No.
I mean, right now they play Denver. I mean, just somehow pray Bo Nix doesn't beat you in the last 3 minutes, and anybody can beat Denver.
Yeah,
the Giants almost beat Denver.
Tough on the road to play a mile high. I guess here's the thing. This is where I think you and I, let's take one individual team out of it. I think the big question is, do you still, despite everything you've seen this year, would you still bet on Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes over Drake May, Bo Nix, and I really don't want to put Daniel Jones in there. He looked pretty bad at the end of the game yesterday, but I guess you'd have to put him in.
Well, I mean, I think he's been up and down just like Bo Nix has. Yes, I would take absolutely the old guard. I think did we do a poll with the old guard as our wording? I 100% hoping that Lamar Jackson's hamstring gets better. I would 100% take Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and especially Mahomes.
But the only problem is it's kind of like a weird question to ask. I get why I said it that way because it's all about quarterbacks and those are the stars of the team. But isn't it really about the defense? Ravens defense was getting better, but if Kyle Hamilton is still banged up, they could be in big trouble. The Bills defense is clearly not good enough. And then the Chiefs defense looked amazing at the end of the game, but where were they for the first 2.5 quarters?
I'll say no. I think these quarterbacks can will their way to victory in the playoffs. Come playoff time, it's about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, but not if the other team's just running all over you. Don't you think?
Yeah, but who are the 3 teams you mentioned? Denver, New England,
and Indianapolis.
Well, Indianapolis, their run game disappeared yesterday. So especially Denver and New England, they can't run consistently. No, I always do this mistake though, where I never see the new teams coming. I cannot see those teams knocking out Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. We should do that poll tomorrow. Get back to this because I think a lot of people are like me. It's just hard to wrap your head around. New England, really? Drake May?
I'm
really?
telling you, I feel like it's going to be a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. And the Rams the Rams are just going to face another young quarterback, and they're going to dominate. Thank you, EJ Stewart. Thank you, Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, the Weedos and the Coffee Drinkers. We'll see you tomorrow.